wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa. As I say, dick.
Welcome to the Your Allegiance podcast, episode 90. This week, we're going to have 3 interviews with one with David Williams and Thomas Bellet. David is Customiser, of course. You all know him from the community, and he's going to talk about what he's going to be bringing to his booth with Wolf King Customs. And Thomas is a toy photographer. He's also been a street retailer recently. He's going to talk about his experiences doing that, and also what he's expecting from Legions Con and what he's looking to pick up as a toy photographer, and just a little insight into what it's going to be like for him at the con. Then we'll have Eugene Unick. He is going to talk to us about what he's going to bring to his table. That's Dr Grimm Customs table. So we'll talk all about that. Eugene is a great painter, great customizer. He always has fun, exciting takes on stuff. So it'll be very interesting to find out from him what to expect there. And last but not least, we have Chris James. He is running the Pop and Swap event this year at Legions Con, which is going to be on the Saturday evening. So he'll talk to us all about what it's gonna be like. What are the rules? Kind of clarifying what you can and can't bring, and also what to expect from that. So that's a very exciting thing that's kind of been officialized this year at Legions Con. So very fun. Bring your Legions fodder. Don't forget to pack a bit of it in your bag and take advantage of that opportunity to maybe pick up some parts that you thought you were never going to get your hands on. So that's all from me. Just a quick note that Rich is in the interview with David and Thomas, but he wasn't available the day we recorded the interviews with Eugene and Chris. So just so you know, if you don't hear from him in the second half of the show, that's why. Okay, I'm off to start packing my stuff for Legions Con. It's very exciting. It's going to be next week, just a little travel day in between. But I'll see you all. If you're going to intern, I'll see you there. If not, I'll see you when you arrive at the con. And make sure to come up and talk to us, call us names, slag us off for what we have and haven't said on the show. So that should be fun. Next week there will be another little episode popping into your feed early in the week. That's with the one and only Jeremy Gerard to give us a little insight to the con from his perspective, one of the men behind Legions Con. So it will be very interesting, and maybe we'll try and squeeze a little hint or two as to what to expect from G-Con out of Jeremy. You never know. We're going to try our best anyway. Okay, won't keep you too long because there's lots of interviews to get through, so enjoy. All right, welcome back to another Your Allegiance interview. Tonight we're going right across the pond all the way to Arizona. And what would normally be Arizona is actually right across to Normandy, just across the water from Rich and Mal, and just up the road a couple hours from me. It's so from Arizona we have Dave Williams. You all know him. He's now designing pins for the Horsemen and stuff. He's had a tribute figure made into an actual figure. He's a cool artist. How are you, David?
I'm great, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Great to have you back on the show. And of course, other member of the Arizona trio. We don't have Sam on, but we have Thomas Bellet. How are you, Thomas?
Doing excellent. Thanks for having me, guys.
You're getting over your jet lag there in Western France?
Yeah, a little bit of jet lag, but surviving.
Very good. And what's the plan? You just visiting people in France for a while and then?
Yeah, spending the week with my grandparents, and they're in their 90s, so taking advantage of spending time with them while I still can, and eating a lot of good French food that I can't get in Arizona.
Yeah, Thomas will be. He's a as a svelte guy as it is, but he might have a little paunch on him after this trip, for just in time for Legion's Con. No harm.
Plenty
You
of
can
butter.
afford it, Thomas. You can afford it.
And
Right.
if anybody asks, I was with Thomas. That's why I've got a slight paunch. And when I say slight, quite a lot.
Cool. And then you're off to my home country as well.
Yes, sir. Taking a ferry from Cherbourg.
Oh, I've done that trip a load of times. Yeah. I hope you got a cabin.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Then it's perfect.
18 hours on the ferry.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it leaves around 4:30 in the afternoon, and you get there at about 11 the next morning. So
That's exactly it.
get on, get a good bit of food, few pints, go to bed, wake up, you're there.
Can't wait.
Cool. Right. And so, David, how's the Legion's Con prep going? Are you panicking like all these other people we've been talking to?
Not quite.
No?
I've been painting throughout the year. And I've had
Sensible,
a couple of
man.
really good days where I've just been able to go, 10 in the morning till 8 o'clock at night and just paint all day uninterrupted. So I'm pretty much prepared. The t-shirts that I ordered from Dave Orkin are finished. So he'll bring those there and I'll
Superb,
roll them
yeah.
up and have them all ready to go. But it's been a surprisingly stress-free Legion's Con preparation. And now I'm just excited.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's the problem now. We have a couple of weeks still to wait. Although when this episode is released, it might be a bit closer to Legion's Con. So that'll be fun for the people listening. But yeah, we have another 3-4 weeks,
Sure.
depending on when you're going to arrive. But no, that's cool. So you're a veteran now, David. You know that you need to start painting. Back in February when your people are like, oh, I don't feel like it. You're like, yeah, I gotta do one or two. Keep it ticking over.
I'll take commissions throughout the year,
Yeah.
here and there, like a head or two. So it kind of keeps me sharp. And then I love making customs. If it wasn't for making any money or anything like that, I just make them because I enjoy them.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoy this line. And as it progresses and changes with new parts and new characters, it just makes it more exciting. I already have stuff in the works. All I got to get in hand is the Legion's Con exclusives and the retailer wave, and I'll have another set of customs that I'm ready to do based on some of those parts.
That retailer wave is sneaking up on us. I think it'll be here. It'll be the kind of post Legion's Con, or maybe even pre. I don't know, but let's say for sure post Legion's Con. Kind of.
Yeah, I think the street dates.
Their aches.
Yeah, street dates late. I think the 29th.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, these are street dated.
November.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get a little breather.
Oh, wasn't that the one? Yeah, when I said, Mal, when we got the street date, I was like, oh, thank God it's after Legion's Con. Because we had this, we've done a group pre-order with the retailer, and so it's over $1,000 would have had to go out.
Yeah, that's a cool wave too. I'm super excited about that one.
Oh yeah, that Fisher Rice is is coming.
Yeah,
it's coming. A lot of boxes of that is coming over here.
I think I ordered 5 of that guy.
Yeah.
I think I worked out I ordered 8 of them.
So yeah, Mal did his own little order as well on top.
Yeah,
of our group order. Love it.
Yeah.
His own group order.
Yeah. And then the figure obscuras, I tend to order 2 figure obscuras, one to open, one to keep in the package, just because the packaging is part of the experience now. They're such nice boxes.
Yeah.
So with the retailer stuff, it's cool to get those figures to use for parts because they tend to have so much new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This will be the first retailer wave that I get all of them. So, who knows? Maybe they're, even cooler out of the box. And now I'm like, well, I got to buy another one.
Yeah. It's great to get that Monkey King again and in the kind of slightly different colors, slightly brighter gold and a few different things.
Yeah. I like that Jacob Marley a lot too. Like the darker colors.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't always need a translucent figure, do you, Mal?
I do. I love them.
Yeah, I was yeah. You can have both. You know.
Yeah, I just used Jacob Marley for a custom, and I was like, yeah, just translucent parts. I kind of ashamed to paint them, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I was feeling. But yeah, I'm actually like with that Fisher Ice. I'm really loving doing Cosmic customs in this last year, you know, or you know, as
they're a ton of fun
since
to paint.
Cosmic has come out. I just find maybe there's just they fire my imagination more for that kind of stuff because you can do absolutely anything with Cosmic. Whereas with Mythic, you kind of have to stay in the realm a little bit.
Sure.
And, you know, maybe you can't do those bright colors as much in Mythic. I mean, they have done them with the Motu tributes, some of them at least, but there's a reason for that. I don't think we could put a kind of a fluorescent barbarian in there anywhere, you know?
Yeah.
Well, Mal is kind of thinking maybe.
Give it a go.
Yeah.
You know what else is going to be cool after Legion's Con is having a Magnus head in circulation, like something to be able to paint. That's a cool head.
And Atlas.
Atlas too, yeah. That's a cool set. Man.
Like
cool
Magnus is the kind of more standard head, so there will be more of them because Atlas is the exclusive. But yeah, if you pick up 2 or 3 boxes of them, you will have definitely 1 or 2 Atlases to do what you want with.
For sure.
We could. That's a good way for people to customizers to maybe get an Adamon into their collection.
For sure,
it'll be the cheapest way. You know, Uncan is an easy enough repaint. You know, in terms of getting all the parts together. But yeah, Adamon, Keltis, you can get Keltis with Sir Gerard kind of sorted that one. And this one is going to help you do your custom Adamon. And Thomas, in terms of the photography, are you going to bring any prints to Legion's Con or anything? Or?
Yeah, I've been toying around with the idea of doing some prints. Last time we spoke on the podcast, I was doing the photography panel for the Phoenix.
That's right,
convention.
Yeah. How did that go?
So that was fantastic. We had a great turnout, and that's what motivated me to do my first set of prints. And it was really cool to get just my work in like a physical form instead of just digital on the iPhone, you know. So seeing them all printed out was just really cool. So I've been toying around with the idea of bringing some prints to the con. As far as, you know, quantities or which ones, that's still something I'm going to decide while I'm on vacation here, and I'll probably be ordering them while I'm on the ferry to Ireland, you know.
One big piece of advice for that ferry is switch your phone off roaming mode or whatever, because they have this. You can get internet on the ferry. You can get a Wi-Fi, but you can also get the phone reception. But the rate is like crazy. It's like outside of anything. It's like €10 a megabyte or something like this. It's crazy.
Oh, geez.
So don't touch it. So be careful. I got done by that. I lost 50 quid by that one of the trips. So yeah,
wow.
I know it, but that 50 was all right, you know, considering how it could have gone.
Right.
Because in the EU they have this cap on roaming. If you're in the EU, you can use your mobile data in any country for the same. You know, it's whatever plan you have. A bit like, I guess, in America, you know, so it works. But international waters is outside of that zone.
Lesson learned.
Yeah. So, but cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, even if you got a couple of prints together just to kind of show your work, or even just to kind of hand out a few promotional things, that would already be awesome. Get a few more eyes on, because there is so many great photographers, and it is hard to kind of stand out from the pack without kind of putting yourself out there. So I think that's a really cool way. I think we're all collectors, so having a physical thing, you know, I know I definitely snap up prints. I mean, I got some art prints from you last year, David, and I couldn't believe you were selling them for $5. So that was already a huge bonus. And yeah, I just love them. I just love having those, you know.
Yeah, we were talking in the back room, like all the physical stuff that you can get from this community is just so fun.
Yeah.
Whether it's, you know, pins or stickers or prints, for some of that stuff, I frame it and I put it up, and then some of it I have like an area in my toolbox where I have a stack of neat stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just cool to have. Yeah, I mean, even like, for example, Doorclear just put up a post yesterday as we were talking, a couple of pins in different colorways and a shirt, and it's like for $25 pre-orders, like boom, straight away. It's like straight in, right, Bill? And then of course the beauty of that is because we're all going to Legions Con, you can collect them there, so there's no crap with shipping, whether you're in the States or international. Shipping is still a pain, so great to be able to pick them up there.
Now you guys pack a couple extra empty bags, right?
Yes, isn't that right, Rich?
Empty.
Yeah, there's not much in my bag. Well, apart from the stuff I'm going to try and sell, but generally, the bags are pretty empty when I come over.
Yeah, that's what I do. My suitcase is nearly empty. I just have like the heads.
Yeah.
Len LaGuardia provides me with like a headstand.
Yeah.
So that way I don't have to have like a fragile giant piece of wood in a suitcase.
Yeah.
So essentially my suitcase is empty when I get there, and I just bring a backpack with some clothes in it.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try this year, apart from the armory, to not buy too many figures from the Horsemen.
Sure.
No. And if I do buy anything, like I'll buy the exclusives, but I've just realized I don't do anything with those boxes anyway. So I'm just going to probably rip the figures out and put them in as kind of singles, because then it takes up hardly any room. Whereas if you're trying to bring back the boxes, even like the first year I went, I actually offered to bring back some exclusives in box for people. And I realized that was a bad idea. I ended up having to buy an extra luggage bag. Even I had 2 bag allowance, but I only brought 1 bag because I thought, I didn't need it. And ended up having to buy a $20 sports bag just to throw in. And it was just literally these boxes. And then they're going to get dinged, so even at that point, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be like getting it shipped in a nice bubble wrapped, sealed box.
Taking a page out of Rich's book and just ripping them all open.
Oh yeah,
stuffing them in the suitcase.
No, if you can do that when I'm not in the room, that would be great.
John, if I only buy 2 things, I'm going to make sure I unbox them when you're there. Even if you leave the room, I might follow you down the hall, just like unboxing them as you go.
I'll tell you what, we'll record a podcast of Rich just unboxing, and it's just going to be 45 minutes of just like ASMR plastic crinkling. So if anyone's into that, that'll be episode 100 of this podcast.
I'm not planning on getting as much this year, so.
There's a couple of YouTubers that open the package on the video, and it drives me nuts, man. It's the worst set.
Yeah.
Absolute worst set.
Yeah. I mean, even like I know some like live stream shows, that's unavoidable in a way, but maybe mute and let somebody else talk. But yeah, that is what it is. Did your wife just walk in the room there, Rich, when you said I'm not going to buy as much this year? What happened?
No, but she might watch the recording, so I just gotta,
Wow, another loyal listener from Bristol. I just thought you were the only one.
What I did last year for bringing the figures back was I just put everything in a big cardboard box, one of the cases from the 4 Horsemen. I just lined it all up and I checked that in as my luggage. The airline lets you check, a big cardboard box as your luggage. I only had a carry-on my way there, and I had 1 checked luggage allowed. So just big box, and it was a direct flight. So when it's a direct flight, that's I go out of my way to make sure I get that direct flight if I can.
Oh yeah,
because as soon as you have to change, no, last year I ended up not getting a direct flight because I had a punctured tire on the way to the airport, so I was lucky to get there, but there was no mess ups. But and I think the reason there was no mess ups is because I had to collect my bag ended up in Washington Airport or the Dulles or something. I ended up having to take that off the carriage, baggage carriage, and actually bring it to some other carousel and put it on. So I actually physically brought my bag to the next flight. But I think if you're relying on them transferring your bag, best of luck.
Yeah, I can vouch for that because I tried this. I did the same approach coming home from IshCon when me, David, and Sam went out there.
Yeah.
And they left my bags in Dallas. They flew me home to Phoenix, but
yes, I remember chatting to you on the messenger or whatever, and you were telling me that you had the bag, a nightmare, but you eventually got it.
Yeah, it was 2 days later. It showed up in Phoenix.
Wow. And you had, I suppose, you had some stuff you bought in that bag and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was literally just a 4 Horsemen shipping box full of figures.
Oh,
wow. I mean, I can lose my socks and underwears all day.
Bullets, that would have been.
Yeah.
Wow. How was IshCon, boys? Did you have a table there, David? Or
no.
I know you did the reveal of the awesome figure, obviously.
Yeah, no, I knew about the reveal, which is why I went.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of convinced Thomas that it would be fun.
And I think he agrees. Yes, he agrees. Yeah,
sure. Oh yeah, it was a blast.
Did that take much convincing?
No, we were doing a toy show together, and we were talking about upcoming conventions and how we had missed MesquiCon, and he was like, "I'm thinking about going to IshCon." I'm like, "I'm definitely going. We can share a room. Like, just come. It'll be fun." You know, all the while knowing that I'm like, it's going to be pretty cool for me.
And what is
super special?
How is the toy community in Arizona then? How, like, is it a growing thing? Is it a thing that's always existed, or?
I'd say it's growing, always growing. But as far as our Legions community, it's pretty small and tight knit. There's a handful of us, not too many. I think. I mean, David and I met in New Jersey for the first time, so tells you how closely knit our Arizona crew is.
Yeah.
Since then, I think we've gotten a lot closer. But that was one of the big things that kind of enticed us to do a street team in Arizona. Was, you know, there's not that many people that are familiar with the line, or if they are, they've never held the figures in hand. You know.
Yeah.
That was a great opportunity to get people to, you know, hold these figures and see what they're really like. So it's definitely growing. I think more every month, every reveal, you know, there's more and more people coming aboard.
Yeah. How did the street team thing go?
Thomas?
Oh, the street team was fantastic, man. I didn't know what to expect. Talking with Jeremy, I was, you know, looking at quantities, how much to order, and it was, you know, first time around. So it's a little daunting, right? Don't want to order too much and then end up with a bunch of stock, and don't want to order too little and then just not really have a good representation. So I think we had a really good spread. We got both Mythic and Cosmic. Jeremy kind of helped me decide the figures. Give me some, you know, tips on which ones, you know, are going to be the best ones. And then obviously we had a representative from 4 Horsemen, Mr. David Williams, you know, artist for the studio. So that was a big selling point. It's a really good show that we did it at. It's a show that happens almost quarterly in Phoenix. So there's a good attendance. A lot of folks that we're already familiar with in the community, but they're not too familiar with 4 Horsemen products. So it was kind of introducing already toy collectors to this line. And since then, I've had to make a couple of actual street team deliveries post-convention. People messaging me, hey, do you still have any of those 4 Horsemen figures? And,
got any of those figures, huh?
Yeah. Just plastic crack dealer. Just throwing them in the car, and I'm meeting them at the local gas station. Like,
oh, man. Right. If only we were in Arizona, boys, huh? And David, what was it like awesome being an official ambassador of the Horsemen then?
It's such a surreal thing. I'll forever have kind of an imposter syndrome when it comes to that. But it was really fun to get to represent, like, or just like show people those toys. because we brought a bunch of figures that were out of package so we could hand them to people and have them play with them and mess with them. And because of the way we had it set up, there were so many people that walked up like, what is this? Like, what are you guys doing? And to be able to like hand them a figure and tell them all about it, but on a much more intimate level because of our, relationship with the studio, like just all of us together. It was a lot of fun. Like it was just a super special feeling to be like, this is, it's our thing too,
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Yeah.
what about when you're, when you've got a customer in the tattoo studio, does it ever come up about collecting figures and stuff like that?
I have Mythic Legions figures like all over my station. I have a bookcase behind me, and people are curious. Like, it's definitely not your average tattoo shop decor. So they'll ask about them, and sometimes we're sitting there for 2-3 hours, and we run out of, what do you do for a living? How was your morning? What kind of shows do you like? And they're like, so what do you do? And I'm like, I paint toys. And that becomes a whole conversation in which goes straight to Mythic Legions. But there are a couple of clients I've had that are toy collectors, and they usually do like the Mezco stuff or Funko Pops. But it's surprising how many people know what Mythic Legions are, or Figure Obscura specifically, because that one's so much more varied.
Yeah.
That it's the same as a toy show. Like, I'll hand them one of the figures and they'll mess with it. And they're like, so you can just order these? And it's been really cool that they've been having this in-stock sale, because I've had a couple of people that order figures on the spot. And they're like, well, I want to try,
Awesome.
I had one client that I told him the Thousand Swigs story, and he was like, can I buy that figure? And I was like, yep, and bought it on the spot.
Awesome.
Just about everyone, when we get to the Anthophilius conversation, should we get there? They'll usually go on Big Bad and pre-order one, or
wow, look at that,
because they're like, yeah, my tattoo artist has a toy. I'm gonna get it.
Of course, yeah. And then at some point you might have to do a tattoo of him on somebody, or
I've considered. I have a spot like on my thigh that I can still reach.
You could do it yourself. Have you done tattoos on yourself? Yeah.
Oh, a ton of them. Yeah.
Wow, that's not too kind of weird, or kind of, I don't know how to explain it, because I've never had a tattoo, and I've never given a tattoo, so I don't know.
No, you kind of separate yourself from you're the worker. You're working as opposed to like just feeling it. I mean, I don't need to go into detail, but I have tattooed myself quite a bit, and it's usually just weird little things that I can knock out in a second, or really tedious work that no one really wants to do. Like I my leg is all black. Like I tattooed my leg, and it was just, nobody wants to really do that. So I sat in the shop for about 5 hours and had a couple of beers and just tattooed myself. And it was after hours. I don't do that stuff while we're open.
It's like no one wants to base coat, a troll figure from Legions or whatever.
Exactly.
It's the same type of thing, Get that spray can out. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's I always wondered, because people always say, you shouldn't get this is not relevant for you or Mal now, Rich, but you shouldn't get a haircut from somebody that has a bad haircut themselves. And I say, yeah, but they can't give themselves their own haircut,
Yeah.
But at the same time, if they have a bad haircut, that is a bad sign. Let's be honest.
I always think, man, tattooers with the bad tattoos are some of the better tattooers.
Really?
Because it's like, yeah, man, I've been getting tattooed since 1997, and all my tattoos. So you think
they have experience?
Yeah, my tattoos are awful. Like, things that were cool in 1997 are not cool anymore.
Gotcha.
Which is why a lot of this stuff is blacked out and covered up. And I use that to my advantage when people have an idea or a concept that I'm like, take it from the guy with 3 black limbs like of cover-ups, that like maybe I have a better idea of what would be best for you, you know, or you know, and while still keeping their design in mind and everything, you know, all the qualities of it. But
do you get a lot of like sports people in, you know, whether it be especially professional sports people? Because I mean, I saw this thing the other day online of like all these famous footballers, like, and most of the really well known, like, so soccer players we're talking about here, and they're all like full back tattoos and, you know, kind of full leg tattoos, whatever.
Not
seems to be a thing
really
these days.
We had a couple of the University of Arizona guys get tattooed over the years. My style doesn't really lend itself to
Gotcha.
the general public. Like, I'll take walk-ins and whatever, but if you look at my work, it's like, oh, that's the guy who does the weird spooky stuff, you know? So I just kind of stick to that.
Gotcha. And do you have tattoos, Thomas, or?
Yeah, a couple.
Yeah, very good. None from David, or?
Not yet.
No?
Not yet, but it's certainly bound to happen.
And apart from the My Wife's Gonna Kill Me crew, have you done any kind of Legions related tattoos on anyone ever?
Not really. Some of the armor references, like if I do like an armored character, like I'll do knights or skeletons or whatever. And that's just stuff I like to draw. But I'll throw in a piece of the Legion's armor just as like a little nod. And it fits perfectly. I mean, it's, for the most part, they've done such a good job of creating fantasy armor that looks functional, that it looks cool in a picture. So, and that's just my own personal touch on it. I never tell people this is from a toy. Like this,
it's from your own knowledge bank in your head, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
If it comes from a toy, it doesn't really matter, does it? But I've seen, like, you know, historical armor over the years, and when you look at the Legion stuff, like especially those, you know, the plates that kind of line up on each other, kind of, and go in like a stairs almost. Yeah. That's very historically accurate to a lot of different types of armor. There you go. The Valiant Knight, Thomas has it. Had to bring some figures with you. Which figures did you bring on holiday then? So Skelly, Legion Builder, obviously, the classy, a Valiant Knight. They are such good figures, those two.
Brought a snag along, and I brought a Plunderling. I've got a Plunderling I bring out everywhere with me. My Plunderling's been to Italy. It's been all over the place. So.
Brilliant. Cool. Shall we look at some of the stuff? So, David, what table are you at? I know you're in the Wolf King area. Is it the same as last year?
Yeah, it's the same spot, just about. It's like a little, like I'll be the next table over. I'm sharing with Stephen Bisciotti. We're at table 7.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Which is pretty cool. Like we've had a little conversation about how it's kind of cool that we both got tributes. And so I actually made stickers. I got permission from the studio. We're not going to sell them. They're going to be giveaways, but I made stickers of the heads of our 2 characters to give away.
Nice.
So, that's a pretty neat little thing.
Wouldn't happen to be this, would it?
It would happen to be that. Yeah, it's exactly that.
Here's one we prepared earlier. Yeah. It's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are going to be free at the table. I think I ordered 250 of each.
So they're 2 separate stickers, is it? One of each head?
Yeah, they're laser cut, so they're the shape of the character, I think.
Yeah. That's sweet.
I think they're 3 inches tall. But they're neat stickers, and I love Steven. I think he's just such a cool guy, like, especially in person. I like his persona on the show. I think it's great comic relief, but in person, man, that guy is such a sweetheart. Like, I love him.
Oh, he's lovely. He's a lovely guy. Yeah, he's actually, he's nothing like he's on the show in a way, you know?
Yeah, so it'll be fun sharing a table with him.
Yeah.
And I think we're both doing painted heads, and I'll have shirts, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So you're you're actually just a couple down from us along the row. So that'll be cool. We'll be able to wave. So this is your t-shirt design.
Yeah. Those are, we printed those on super soft tees. So they're like the comfortable ones. They're not the boxy ones.
I remember you telling me that that's your very important for you to get that type of a shirt. It's
yeah, I try and get the shirts that don't shrink up too bad.
Yeah.
After you wash them, even if you do dry them. I didn't put into consideration. I was talking to a couple of guys in a video chat one time. I dry all my clothes outside, or all my shirts outside.
Of course, you live in Arizona, you can.
Yeah, and I didn't realize nobody does that. Like they're like, "Oh, I can do it maybe 2 months out of the year." I'm like, "Dude, my shirt's dry in 10 minutes."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. If you get a call from someone I see in an hour, and you're like, "Okay, I'm just putting my shirt in the washing machine, and it'll be good." Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's 96 degrees today. So
whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not that over this direction, Thomas, huh?
No, definitely not. It's about half of that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is in American, but it was 10 degrees here today in Celsius, and it was chilly. It was a nice little chilly breeze. So the beauty of your t-shirt design, David, is that you can do the art on it yourself. So it's like it's a fully rounded, awesome thing.
It's cool, but it's also like, it's kind of like I'm the biggest critic of my work. So it's like, I'll draw something and I'll submit it. And then I'm like, man, I would just do it different, so it's like this character went through so many revisions because I thought, one thing was not done right, or the angle of something or whatever. But it's fun to be able to draw something and have somebody like Dave Orkin make it, because we're buds. So it's like,
true,
we can email back and forth, and it's really cool to have somebody like that in your pocket, and as opposed to working with a t-shirt company that's like by the book, like stipulations everywhere,
And for the listeners, we can say that David is a very experienced t-shirt reseller, so you're going to get the top service from him. Everything will be nicely bowed up and everything.
Oh yeah, Dave Orkin is his.
No, I was talking about you.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. Being in bands for 20 years, we made a lot of t-shirts.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'll get them all rolled up and ready.
Whereas us last year, somebody.
Go on, Rich.
I was going to say, us last year, somebody came up to our table and the three of us were just scrabbling on the floor trying to find the size they wanted. It was it was not professional.
Well, this year it's going to be different because hopefully we get them a little bit earlier, and
and I'll help you roll them up. We'll have like a little shirt night. We can just sit upstairs and roll up our shirts.
Yeah. Exactly. Rich, I even have a spreadsheet of the list of all the people that sent us an order. So
So, David, are you doing, or have I missed, because that's quite possible this year, I'm not following the Cabal very well. Are you doing a pre-order, or are you just going to sell them on the...
No, I like to buy things in person. I like to sell things in person. It's always sad or a bummer when you go up and you're like, hey, I want a shirt. And you're like, well, I have this box of shirts that haven't been picked up yet, but you can't have one.
Yeah, it's tricky. But we had the opposite problem last year. We had the box of shirts, and we had to bring a lot of them home. So that's the other side of it.
Yeah,
but that could have been down to us not selling them properly. As in not pushing them.
Yeah, it's a crapshoot. It's like I felt like there was a good enough response.
Yeah,
and then
I do think when it's your own art as well, it makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. It's like. Yeah,
Sorry,
it's good to show it early, and then just do things like this where it's a little reminder that you want a shirt.
I think what this shirt has over maybe some others and our own is that previously I think the one we've got this year is a little different, but it is just a cool shirt as well, just as well as having a meaning to the people who know what the meaning is. So I think. They will generally sell better, those sort of shirts.
I think that's what's kind of that's what I was saying about designing a shirt is I don't want to just put my name on it, because it's like, I've said it before, I have just such an average name. It doesn't even sound cool. So it's
Welsh rugby scrum half.
I was going to say, you've got a Welsh surname, David. Don't you put that name down?
It's got a Welsh name, full stop.
So, but it's cool, man. I always try and draw like a cool metal shirt. You know, like everybody looks cool in a black T-shirt, and everybody looks cool with a medieval brutal design on it. It's like anyone can wear it. It looks cool, and it's entirely aesthetic. You know,
Well,
as opposed
that's
to
where
being
another
like,
shirt that you designed comes in as well, because you designed Dork Claire's shirt as well, didn't you? So, and that's another one that applies to, even though it says Dork Claire, it's a very cool dungeon sort of design, isn't it? So.
Yeah, I think it's really important then to have a cool aesthetic when you create. It's like I could draw different stuff, but luckily I'm into this stuff, but I prefer to draw stuff for people, like for people to wear, and I think looks cool.
So Thomas, when Antiphillies eventually drops, you got to get David to do a Zone A T-shirt, for the crew.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the Zone A thing's kind of grown into to more than
I'm jealous. I almost
Jeremy
want to move
expected.
to Arizona.
Yeah,
right.
Apart from
he wrote that into the bio,
weather,
and
it's cool.
It's kind of grown more.
Yeah,
totally.
I've brought that up to people when explaining the Amphiphilius figure, that it kind of like we have like kind of a sense of pride in Arizona. We all love it here. It's a weird place, but it was cool to be like almost canonized in a sci-fi series that we're like, there is a desert called, Zone A, and that's us. That's our thing. So people get a kick out of it, and they think it's really neat to just have that little nod,
Mm-hmm.
So there they are. There's the three boys.
Speaking of the Dorkler shirt,
and that shirt I'm wearing is the one I designed for our tattoo shop.
Wow!
That's very cool
yeah.
as well.
See, that's cool. Is that an armored?
It's an armored female. She has fangs, so she is a vampire. But
Rich.
And that's one that that was like the armor based on. I just used Lady Averona as like a reference.
I was gonna say that looks like Lady A. Yeah.
So, and that was deliberate entirely, because it's like, it's my shirt. I can do whatever I want with it. So I might as well make a cool armored babe that looks like a Mythic Legion's character.
Totally,
awesome.
Yeah.
And you must have been somewhere warm doing that, because you're all in T-shirts. Whereas opposed to New Jersey last year, you're wrapped up like you were in the North Pole.
Yeah, that was at IshCon. It was hot there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I heard that it was warm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got some sort of a rainstorm or something like that at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was different from our type of rain, so we were all excited about it. Like it was a neat thing.
Yeah.
Come to England.
Coming from Arizona, I'm sure rain is actually exciting.
Oh yeah. It's exciting, but it's a little bit terrifying, because we don't have natural disasters, but we get these monsoons that'll tear up.
Ooh.
Like 100-year-old cactuses will just be uprooted and just thrown into the desert. So you got to be, a little wary of what's in your backyard and what's in your front yard and what's going to fall on your vehicle.
Totally, yeah, completely.
And it lasts for 15 minutes, and then it's over, and it's just destruct.
Yeah.
So when it just rains water from the sky in North Carolina, it's exciting. It's just nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think Jordan got some video of me and Sam like dancing in the rain.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah, that's probably what reminded me of it. Yeah.
Like, this is fantastic. There's not a bunch of dust in the sky with the rain. It's just coming down on its own,
Yeah, the boys in T-shirts, no appreciation for a rain jacket. They don't even have one. Why would you have a rain jacket from Europe?
No. I leave mine with my grandparents in Normandy.
Yeah, you need it when you go there.
Yeah.
Irish weather over there. Right, David, let's have a look at a couple of customs. So this, to me, looks like a Wolverine type tribute, or?
Yeah, that's the head I got from Dirk Nagel. We put together a little cosmic dwarf. Usually when I make customs, I try and only use Legion stuff. So it's like, rather than trying to do 3 claws, I just did the 2 on each hand.
Yeah.
Just because it's not Wolverine, but it's not Wolverine.
Yeah. Gotcha.
This one I'll have on my table for sale.
Awesome.
He's a really cool figure, but I'll have both heads available. Like, you can have both heads when you buy.
So this is the other head, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And is this an exclusive head, or is this?
I believe he sells them online.
Okay, so it's just one of Dirk's heads himself.
Mm-hmm. And I bought him at IshCon, and that was immediately when I saw him. I was like, I'm going to make this cosmic dwarf guy.
Very cool. How much are you looking forward to the dwarf pack for more dwarf limbs that maybe work better in cosmic?
I love the dwarf figures, man. Yeah. They're just cool. Mm-hmm. Like they're real playable, you know.
Yeah, I can't believe that at some point people were complaining that they weren't like a full figure.
Yeah, that's such a weird. The toy community is so bizarre, man.
At the start of the line, that's what you have to deal with. You know, all these, like, obviously Legions was a new line once. All these new lines that are launching, I mean, you have to have, I don't know, like kind of this personality that you just don't care what people say to get through the initial funding of a Kickstarter or whatever it might be. You really have to have thick skin, which is why, I mean, the Horsemen are lovely. So, you know, they just must kind of, they have their own little support group. But like guys like Bobby Valla or, you know, whatever, they just kind of blanket or, you know, just push back on it and don't care what people say about them and can kind of just get on with their day. Whereas I think I'd be like a sobbing mess, you know, once the first bad comment come in, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but it's funny. This I love. So it's the Skeleton Legion Builder, and that's a Brian Burke head. Is that right?
Yeah.
From Burke Customs?
Yeah. When a handful of months ago, when Steamboat Willie went public domain, there was a company that made like Mezco style Mickey Mouse figures, and they were like kind of horror based.
That's right.
And so me and Brian were both really stoked on that figure, but the head is kind of dumb. Like it's just not as cool as it could be. So he was like, I'm gonna sculpt a skull, a rat skull for that body, and it'll be like more of like a rat than like this goofy Mickey Mouse. And I think those figures got delayed because they're not out yet. So he just resized it for Legions and sent me one because of our initial conversation. He was like, yeah, I'd love to see what you do with it. And man, that is a cool head to paint.
Yeah, it looks awesome. Yeah.
Brian Burke's sculpts are so well done.
Yeah. He takes his time in terms, you know what I mean? Like he doesn't just churn them out. He like really takes care to do them, you know, the way he's happy with them. And I think that then shows. I think Brian will have this at LegionsCon, this sculpt. So
yeah, I believe he will, and I don't want to give away any other secrets.
He sort of hinted that there might be others in line with this one, but that it was only a hint. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll see what he's got. I'm gonna spend a lot of money at his table.
Now look at that. We're onto one of our heads.
I was gonna say, damn, that's a good head. Look at that.
Thank you.
So this was awesome to see when you posted it. Frankenstein creature matched with our supposed cosmic, but you know it works for this type of a creature as well.
It really does
for LegionsCon.
Yeah.
Did you kind of I suppose you didn't know about Frankenstein's creature, but it was when you saw the Frankenstein you just thought, right?
No, this was like a shotgun paint. I had him primed to do. I was just going to do, because everybody's that have painted these already have done a fantastic job. And I thought of what he could go on, and I'm like, well, somebody already did a blue one for, you know, Oleg Thygar, and somebody already did a green one. It looks good on Novian Lean. But this, I was going to paint this in human flesh tone. Like it was just going to be a really gross looking human.
That's the whole idea.
So he was already primed in like kind of a base, like kind of a medium brown.
Yeah.
And then when I got Frankenstein in hand, I had bought a soft good jacket for my Frankenstein monster or creature. And I had him at the shop because I was going to weather the jacket and then take a picture of it. And I was like, oh man, I can try and match this paint with this head while it's there. And it worked out great. He looks fantastic on that body.
Yeah, it works really well.
Was it tough to match the paint, or how did that go?
It was really hard.
So was that a mix of a number of paints? Kind of wasn't a straight out of the bottle job?
No, not at all. It's a lot more yellow than I thought. Like a bright yellow than I thought.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of an ochre or whatever. But yeah, it took a little bit of work, but it's a lot of wash helps kind of change the tone of the yellows. But I mean that Frankenstein's creature figure is such a great figure, like the paint and sculpt and everything. But when you're trying to match paint like that, it's just, you have a new appreciation for what goes into painting these figures, you know?
Yeah. It's, it can be tough for sure. Well, you did an amazing job with this.
Thank you.
I think we can all say. Another one of our sculpts. I was so excited when you sent me this over a while ago, and obviously you've posted it since. This is our Shanachie leprechaun head. So awesome. Just an awesome job, David. I don't know.
Thanks.
Can't say much other than that. How
what
did
I
you
did
find
with
it?
I love this sculpt also. But with the cards in the hat, I gave him the Anthophilius brown and yellow stripes. And
I
then
was
the
too
other
dumb to
card
get that until you told me, but yeah. Brilliant.
And then the other card is the 6 eyes that he has, like the blue eyes.
Yeah.
I didn't spot that. That's amazing.
So
yeah. So that
just kind of
instantly makes this a collector's item. So are you going to keep it, or are you going to sell it at your table, Legions Con? Or
I
mean, obviously you can get another one off us to paint for yourself if you want.
Sure.
So
there's something special about offering stuff for people that'll appreciate it. And I don't tend to keep a lot of my customs on display because I do sell heads and I do make new figures, and I'm such a stickler for factions and races and all that stuff, like being together. So it's like when I have like a one-off character, I don't tend to keep it, keep the head.
Yeah.
And then again, this is kind of a cool way to offer a sculpt that a few people are offering with my own, like that's the David Williams one,
Gotcha. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
right.
So yeah, I'll have this for sale.
We've one more thing to show here from you. So I'm going to try and see if this works. So this is your painted heads. Mm-hmm. So you sent me a little video, so I'm going to see if I can get that working. There we go. So look at that
cowboy head in there.
So this is what you're going to see at David's table. Some of it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So look at that beautifully painted heads rack. A couple there are probably going to be painted in the meantime.
Yeah, the lower
primed ones. Yeah. Oh, sorry now. Just got to go back a little bit. This guy here with the one eye. What is that? I've never seen that head before.
That's very cool.
Len LaGuardia gave that to me last Legions Con, and he was like, look at this weird thing. You're going to like this. And he just gave it to me. I was like, all right. And so I was like, it's like a naked cat. It's
it does look like one of those, yeah. And the eye thing as well, yeah. And so did he tell you what the origin of that was, or?
No, not at all. It's a bizarre sculpt because it's got a metal face mask on. It's missing one eye. It's got like earrings all over it. And it looks even weirder being painted in like a human flesh tone, like those cats are. Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, it's perfect. So there we see the rest of them. Look at that. Great selection there. We get a good look at that that Frankenstein. So there we go. So let's just pause that there. So that's you, David. So thanks for sending that stuff over, and excited to put my eyes on it in person as well.
Yeah, it'll be
no matter what, photos never do it justice.
Right.
And,
Seeing all that stuff in person is such a treat. And it's like you could spend
totally
an hour plus, just at one person's table, just staring at all the little details in each head. And that's something special going to Legion's Con.
And that's the thing. You don't for Legion's Con, obviously you got to pay to get there, hotel, all that kind of stuff. Of course, it's nice to pick up all the stuff. You don't need to spend another cent to have a great time. You don't need to buy anything. Mm-hmm. You can look at all this stuff and get just as much pleasure as the person that's going to bring it home and display it on their shelf. Obviously, if you can get stuff, that's even more awesome. But you can definitely have a great time.
John,
all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Never ever speak to my wife with that sort of advice. No, he doesn't need to buy anything at all. He just has a great time if he's just there. No.
But your gig is that you're supposed to bring stuff to sell. You sell that, and with the proceeds of that, you
buy stuff,
and you're kind of zero at the end of the day. And no harm, no foul. No.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, to wrap us up here, let's have a look through some of your stuff, Thomas, because you have some awesome photos on your Instagram. Look at that. So you do the Myth and Fantasy toy pick collaboration quite regularly?
Yeah, we try to do that weekly. So that's been a blast. My buddy Pablo, PL Photography, he does all the Plunderling shots for their packaging and everything. He invited me into this collab a couple months back, and it's been just even more inspiring getting a whole community, and we all kind of motivate each other to take pictures regularly and get things posted. A lot of times I'll take pictures and there's hundreds of pictures on my phone. I never get a chance to post them, but having this collab with the group is kind of an incentive to make sure I get something up there weekly. So even right now, being on vacation, I shot a couple pictures ahead of time so that I can keep posting on the collab with everybody.
And what's your setup? Do you use your phone? Do you have a kind of camera setup? Do you have lighting? All that?
Yeah, I've got a camera, a variety of lights. I've taken a lot of tips from Trevor as far as the lighting goes, and I watch a lot of his shows.
His tips, which is amazing.
Right?
I think you have to be comfortable with in your own skin and with your own kind of work to be able to be like that. And that's
still the secret sauce. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's awesome. I always say that it makes better if there's more of this stuff out there, whether it be customs like the likes that David is doing or whatever, or toy photography. The more cool stuff is, the better for everybody.
Yeah. And the quality of figures that Four Horsemen puts out with the details is...
Yeah.
It makes it even funner to photograph,
If you kind of, if you ignore just a tiny bit of articulation you can see there, that looks pretty like a movie shot,
Mm-hmm.
And the guy there. What figure is that? Kind of the blurred one, the kind of human figure?
So that's a couple of different Mescos mashed together. It's Bartholomew Vex, the demon goat, with the Batman Gotham by Gaslight Bruce Wayne head. So I took the Bruce Wayne head, put it on that Bartholomew Vex body, but the hand I think is a Constantine hand from Mesco as well. So just a couple different Mescos pieced together to give the illusion of Victorian type scientist.
Yeah,
that's had cool,
fun.
Man.
You've had fun with old Frankie.
Yeah, I think last year I had a blast with Jacob Marley, and then when this one came out,
same type.
It's like as soon as I got him in, I was like, "Wow, I need to photograph this." And the detail in there is just fantastic. And then I like to be able to showcase a lot of the customs too. Like those are some Mark Calvo dwarfs that I picked up Legion's Con 2 years ago. Yeah, that's
so cool. Yeah.
That's one of the first people that I really got to interact with in the community was with Mark, and it was so cool just meeting somebody that was from Spain that flew all the way out to New Jersey to showcase their stuff. You know, it really honed in on the fact that this is such a wide community, but so tight knit at the same time, you know. Then some of those Carver custom torches are great to use in the shots. Like, can't get enough of those. Yeah. Excited to pick up some variety from him this year too.
I need to get some more stuff of Brian, definitely. I've been too late to his table the last 2 years to get the stuff, so it just shows. One of my favorite Legions figures here, Tarnog. I mean, it's amazing.
He's a beauty.
Yeah, actually, we had Mark Calvo on, so he's going to be on a couple of episodes before this one, and he's going to be back this year in Legions Con. So, and he has some great stuff. So,
some really good stuff coming with him.
You're also a Mezco fan as well. I love the Mezco Batman.
Yeah, big Mezco guy. Yeah. I think that was kind of my main line up until, you know, Four Horsemen came and kicked everything else off the shelf and took the space.
At least they're not more expensive than Mezco. You know, if they make Mezco, right. You know, they Mezco makes Four Horsemen stuff look cheap. You know, in terms of price, not in terms of looks, of course. You know,
totally. And now that we're getting all the soft goods and everything, it's amazing seeing that price point that they still offer us. You know, with all the soft goods from CJ and Caitlin.
I love cool. The wizard, the lighting you can do with the wizard figures.
Awesome.
Amazing. Yeah. So
and the way that paint just pops on that figure. You know, I didn't do any post editing on that. It was just,
you can put a black light on that paint, can't you? And it kind of brightens up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a regular light, I think maybe. Cool. Oh, there he is. Dirty old Snag. Nicking stuff.
Up to no good.
Love Snag, yeah. I'd love to see another figure using that head sculptor or similar, that kind of helmet.
Yeah. That one right there is from Eugene, the Valiant Knight.
This one, this head sculpt. Oh wow.
Yeah. Little head sculpt that Eugene gifted me last year at Legion's Con.
Awesome, isn't he?
Such a nice guy. Like I couldn't figure out how to shoot that head sculpt, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to put it on a Valiant Knight, and then that just came to me randomly. I was like, you know, I'm a big cat guy as well.
Oh well, you know, we're not far apart. You know, just spin down the road. I got 4 for you here to play with.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I joked with my wife. I said maybe we should fly into Luxembourg instead of Paris. And,
totally, yeah. You know, I'll drop you back to Paris after 2 days. No problem, you know.
Could have done the podcast from your room.
Oh, that would be awesome. I even have 2 mics here, look, you know, so because I'm an idiot with gear acquisition syndrome. Oh, wow. Look at this guy. This is, it's Eric Miller, of course.
That was one of my...
You got 4 awesome heads from Eric at IshCon, is that right?
Yep, that was kind of my main goal at IshCon, and I know they've joked about it on their podcast. Is I said I was going to buy some Heelys so that I could, you know, wheel myself to his table and be the first one there. And I did do a hurried walk there to make sure I could pick up that Medusa head.
That's sweet.
Actually, a really cool story is so Eric had, I think, 4 Medusas that he brought. And Big Dub happened to grab that one, which was the one that I wanted. And I get to the table and I'm like, oh, the one I wanted is gone. There's 3 left. And Eric's like, yeah, Big Dub grabbed it. And I turned around and Big Dub was right there. And he's like, buy a different Medusa head and I'll trade you and I'll give you the one you wanted.
Oh, wow.
And that was super cool. Nice. Super cool move of him.
Yeah. That is so cool. So cool. Right, let's look at 1 or 2 more. I mean, Cosmic Mal, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I think Thomas takes some awesome photos. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I really want to get into shooting more Cosmic.
Oh, you should. You can do it. The way you do the lighting and everything is just awesome. I mean, look at this type of a shot here. That's movie stuff, like, you know?
Yeah. I think Cosmics. It sounds daft to say this, but I think it's a little underrated at the moment, and yet the stuff we're getting is incredible. But can't wait to see where it goes either, though. You know, if we're starting off at this level, sky's the limit kind of thing. It's going to be fantastic.
Totally, yeah. But number one, you need to get some prints out there.
Yes.
Number two, you're the type of guy, I'm really excited when you buy one of my heads or whatever at Legion's Con, because I'm like, oh man, in a few months' time I might get you've been tagged in a photo on Instagram or something. And be like, oh, yes. Don't you like that, David?
Oh, love it.
Yeah, it's just the best.
It's
isn't
so cool. Like it's just, it's so special that somebody has my things and then took the time to tag me in it, let alone,
and
pose it and play with it.
Yeah, and in the madness of Legion's Con, you don't always, it's very hard to track who might buy, a head off you, or if, if you're doing a deal on 3 or 4 heads and maybe they grab another one, you're not really sure. Oh, I know they got that knight head, but I can't remember what the other ones were. So you really don't know, and you're like, oh, I remember painting that, and now I know who has it. It's like amazing, and then you have that picture, so it's a thing now.
Yeah.
I love that.
I remember people going to yours.
Rich is trying to plug his table.
No, I was just going to say it was a word of advice to
Jones 1, 2, 3. Jones 1, 2, 3.
If you buy lots of stuff at Legion's Con,
4.
Make a note of what you buy on a spreadsheet. Spreadsheets are the perfect way of making a note of that, so you can then when you post a picture, you've got them listed. That's all I was going to say. It was a public service. 3
or 4 beers deep on Saturday evening of Legion's Con are going, oh, I better get out my laptop and just update my spreadsheet.
Yes, it's a spreadsheet. Of course they should be.
Because after another 3 or 4 beers, they're going to go back to the room, wake up the next morning and go, wow, look at all this cool stuff I bought. I can't remember who I got that off.
Yeah, that dwarf head that I took a picture of that I got from you last year, John's one of my favorite ones I've taken since that.
Oh, awesome.
Last year.
I need to see, can I find that here quickly while we're talking? You keep talking, boys,
After
I'm super excited to bring the prints. I know I'm going to bring prints for sure. It's just a matter of deciding, which ones, and it's hard to be unbiased with your work when you're taking pictures. And, like David was talking about earlier, being, like imposter syndrome. I don't think any of my pictures are good. I don't think anybody's going to like my work or care for a print, So it's like, oh man, why am I doing this? Is anybody even going to want one of these? And then like, you got to just kind of get over that hump and say, you know what? Nobody likes them. Oh, well, at least I brought them. And I'm going to have some pretty cool stickers too that a good friend of mine is working on designing. You guys might know it's from Arizona as well.
He just waved, so I think we know him. Yeah. He luckily
so right.
We've just got him on. Yeah, we just phoned him up and we've just got him on. Hi, David Williams. How are you? Welcome to the show. I believe you design stickers the odd time.
Here and there.
Here we go. This is the one, isn't it?
Cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
I remember this head. I remember it sitting kind of. You've had this, David. I'm sure it was primed on my heads rack for ages, and I was like, I like that head sculpt so much. I really don't know what to choose how to do it because it's just hard. It's like that. I could do it like a human. I could do it like different. Caucasian skin or a black skin or like Hispanic skin, I don't know, but what color to do the beard, what to do with the bear kind of hat, or was it boar hat, sorry, on it. And eventually I just said, you know what, I'm going to try and do one of these kind of grey dwarfs, and I think it worked out well, and so did Thomas, and we ended up with awesome picture. And he used one of my favorite figures as a base. Lord Bardrick? Or is that Krotos?
That's Krotos.
I think that's Krotos.
That's Krotos, yeah. Also awesome figure.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. See, that's just too cool, There's no money that can pay for that kind of cool feeling, Very good. Well, it's been great to have you on, guys.
Yes.
Yeah, man. This is awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love hanging out with you guys.
It's been chatting. Yep.
Absolutely, yeah. We could do this all night, but we do have to kind of keep it in podcast episode format so that we can actually get it out there. So
we can do it in 4 weeks' time, face to face.
Oh yeah, well that's true. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to try and
cool.
bring a little bit of recording gear so we can have a few chats if we can. I always say this, but this year I'm going to actually try and do it. So, and do a little. I'm going to try and end up with an episode or two where we can give a feeling of what it was like to be at Legion's Con, while not exactly going to be feeling. So that's the plan. Let's see. It is all going to fall apart after 3 beers, but sure, hey. So Thomas, enjoy the motherland, enjoy your grandparents, and all
Yes,
that awesome
sir.
stuff. I just love even I can see that you're in an old French house from the background behind
Yeah.
you. You know,
It's all falling apart.
yeah, a couple of glasses of wine, and you'll be as good as new. The jet lag will be gone.
Right.
Yeah.
House is, 100-something years old, and wonder that it's still standing up. It's older than the state of Arizona. This house is.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and enjoy Ireland. I can't wait to chat to you about what you thought of it. And you can be honest
It'll be
with
my
me.
first time there.
I moved away, so if it's bad, you can tell me. I can agree. No, for me, Ireland is a wonderful place to visit. I just wouldn't live there anymore because it's so expensive to live there and all that kind of stuff. And but that's kind of everywhere now, though, unfortunately. David, it's great to have you on again.
Thank you.
I just wish you lived in an even better time zone for us, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
But at the same time, very happy for you because Arizona is a lovely spot. So, and you get to dry your t-shirts in 30 minutes or less.
Yeah. Thanks for staying up with me.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, it's no problem. What are we now? 10:30 Luxembourg time. That's fine. No problem. I'm just hoping the kids are gone to bed now when I go back upstairs. So they were watching.
That's why he likes the time difference.
They've been watching the first 3, not today, but like over the last week or two. They've been watching the first 3 Harry Potter movies with my wife. I like them, but she's really big into them. And they're old enough to watch the first 3 now, for sure.
Cool.
So they were on the 3rd one tonight. So they had chips and ice cream and stuff. So they're happy. But school tomorrow, so got to get going. All right, guys, that's been great. Thanks for taking the time. And
Thank you for having us.
looking forward to
Thank
seeing
you so
in a
much,
couple of weeks'
gentlemen.
time. Yeah, cheers.
Can't wait to see you all at Legion's Con.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
All right, we have a good friend of the podcast, a longtime supporter of ours, and of course, a fantastic customizer and Legion's Con exhibitor in his own right. It's Eugene Unick, Dr. Grimm Customs. How are you, Eugene?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on again, gentlemen.
No problem at all. It's always a pleasure. We chat quite regularly, the two of us, with our little day-to-day customizing experiences and good things and bad things. It goes around, comes around. bit of support. I think you can always use that.
Absolutely.
It's it can be difficult for people that are not in the same position as you to understand. So when you know someone that's kind of probably fiddling around and in the same stuff as you're doing at that moment in time, be it 6 or 7 hours different time zone, it still works.
Yeah, it's fine. One of my best mates is in Berlin, so I'm used to it. I just send you a message.
Oh yeah, there you go.
we talk when we do.
You're shooting. There's a lot of bits and bytes going across the Atlantic from your perspective. Then, yeah, I mean, I always feel bad when obviously it's still early evening for you and I'm gone to bed, and then sometimes I'll get a message from you, or I'll have missed a message before I went to bed, and I'm like, oh, okay, I hope he got on okay with that, whatever he was doing.
never take it personally. I'm always like, people with kids.
Oh yeah,
and a regular sleep schedules. Yeah. I get it.
Exactly. Yeah, sure do. And how are you feeling in the run up to Legion's Con?
Last year I felt about the last month, and especially the last 2 weeks, there was a lot of internal pressure to get more done, and I'm kind of at that same spot. It's been a very busy year, one of the busiest years I've had, so I haven't gotten nearly as much done as I wanted to, but I'm kind of at the threshold now where I feel comfortable with what I've got, but there's still a few things I want to finish up because I know that that's what some people have reached out to me about. So I want to make sure that, I have enough shields for people because I've had several people reach out about that, and then just a couple other odds and ends to tie up. But I feel much better today than I did yesterday. So there's progress is progress.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, Mal, it sounds like good problems. It's people wanting stuff from Eugene. So it's not like he's worried about being ignored,
Very definitely good problems for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Eugene was, you were, I think you're the same table this year. You're table 32. Yep. And I think that was kind of directly behind and across the aisle from us. We were 52 last year, and you're right behind Noah. So, and I guess you were right behind him last year as well. And we took a few trips across to that table. It was pretty impressive, Mal.
Yeah, very, very good stuff. Just to show how good it is, I ended up buying 2 of the same head just because of how well they were painted.
I was going to say, every time I put one of those out, Mal came right back over. I was like, man, I should have made 10 more of them.
Oh, I mustn't have bought that when I came over the last time. I thought I did.
I still haven't decided what to do with them, but they were just so nicely painted. I had to have them.
That's it. You'll always have them, that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? That's it once you've got them.
And your buddy Nick is going to help you again this year, Eugene, is that right?
Yep, that's correct. He's going to be my booth eye candy again this year. And, so if he need to negotiate prices, he's the one you talk to. So,
all right, yeah.
he's a harder negotiator than I am.
Okay. So he'll go down lower or?
I don't know. Probably depends on him at the table or not.
Okay. Or he'll at least engage. He'll engage in the banter a bit more. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. No, he's a good guy, and I really appreciate him being there helping.
And is he local to you, or did you meet him through the community, or what?
Actually, him and I have been friends for well over a decade. We actually met through the Transformers community. We had met on a message board there, and then we had met up at a Transformers convention back in 2012 or 2014. And he's the one who actually got me into Mythics because he, is a big Hellboy fan. And he's like, hey, you should probably look at these Templars or some of these creatures because that seems to be your aesthetic. And, and been hooked ever since. So, but
wow, he's the dealer.
He is. He's the one that'll get you hooked. But he's actually up by Noah. He lives in Minnesota up by Noah. So
right, okay. So a lot of cool guys there, and you're over in Nebraska, which is a bit further to the west, basically in there. So a longer drive again is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
How long is your drive about?
If I were to drive again, it would be about 20 to 21 hours. So it's a pretty long.
And you
haul,
drove last year, though, did you?
I did. I am not driving this year. I'm flying in this year. So
yeah, that's why you looked. That's why you looked so exhausted. It wasn't just the stress of your. That was your first time last year, wasn't it? As an exhibitor.
It was, and the weekend before I had exhibited it. Yeah, and the weekend before I had exhibited at a local toy show, so I had back-to-back shows weekends. So there was no break in between. It was a very hectic 2-week stretch.
Yeah, but you had a little dry run, I guess, at least to test the setup and those kind of small little details that tend to crop up on you when you get the table and you get your stuff out of the boxes and you're like, oh shoot, I have to make a display here.
Absolutely,
that's something. The first time you do it, you don't really think of. You think, oh, it's going to look great, but you don't have all the things you have at home,
No, you don't. Tablecloths, plastic bags, just all sorts of little odds and ends stuff you just don't think about.
Yeah, I mean, Len LaGuardia was definitely a dream last year to sort out a few. She sorted us out for the tablecloth, and he did we got him to do a runner for us and a few other bits like that. That just I guess these experienced guys knows what needed, and then they offer it in the community, and you're like, okay, I'm happy to give you $40 or whatever dollars it was. It was not much, I can tell you, for what it was. And the tablecloth was like a rental thing, so it was only a few dollars. So it was really cool.
Nice.
But yeah, so you're bringing all your stuff on the plane, or how's that working?
Yeah, I'll probably just have enough to fit one checked baggage, if that.
Gotcha.
I sold through probably about 60 to 70% of my stock last year, and I sold some more throughout the year. So everything that didn't sell last year will be there again, along with all the new stuff that I've done this year. So I just want to try to make sure that I get through the older stuff as much as I can. And last year, with having my personal vehicle there, it was easier to take more than I needed. And that was kind of overwhelming at times. So I think just trying to make it a little tidier this year and a little more buttoned up will probably make it a little easier weekend, and hopefully give me some time to actually go and see everybody else's stuff a bit more too.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're all in that boat. But some of that older stuff now might be starting to get rare, and even though the instinct might be to put that on discount, but you might be, this sculpt is not available anymore. Now that's interesting.
There's a lot of MAFC sculpts on that old Toad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There you go. So depending on the appeal of them, there definitely is something there. But I mean, the main thing is it's always about, I think it's about the turnover. You got to get things moving, because you could be saying, okay, I remember spending like 5 hours on this head and it killed me, and you want to get whatever dollars for it, and someone's offering you a bit less, and you're like, you know what, I'll probably just take it because I don't want to bring it home, at that point.
That's exactly it.
To a certain point, as long as it's a bit over what you paid for the basic sculpt, you're winning. And then it's a matter of, okay, I didn't get a very good hourly rate there, but at the same time, I probably was watching a movie or listening to a show, podcast or something. So I was, it's my hobby time. You were still enjoying yourself. It's not like a lot of people do enjoy their jobs, but a lot of people just grind the 8 hours or whatever a day at work, and they're happy that they get paid for it, and that's about it. So you're lucky if you do have the joy in it. But I think us customizers and stuff that do it as a hobby, and I think make a bit of money to kind of do it again, is kind of, with the way I look at it, it's fine. We can't get paid our hourly rate because it just wouldn't.
No.
It wouldn't work, would it?
No,
it definitely
not
wouldn't.
so much.
It definitely wouldn't meet the minimum wage rules or whatever. I assume you have minimum wage rules over there, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, we do. So.
Yeah. So I think for, if you were to buy a Medusa head sculpt off somebody or something, there's no hourly rate that's going to be able to get you to afford that.
No, especially not with some of the paint jobs some of those guys put on it, and guys and gals put on it. I've not tackled those yet. Someday I will, but just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, exactly. That's for when you're under no pressure and you're just doing it for your own pleasure. Maybe, a nice sunny day in the summer when you've had when you've fridge full of beer and you can start off, with a steady hand. And by the end of it, you're like, Ryan, I can't do this.
So just like every other day, got it.
Yeah, sounds good. But do you still find the customizing kind of very like a big stress reliever and a kind of a good way to kind of clear the head? And
yeah, at the end of the day, what I enjoy with it the most is trying out the new things, because I tend to go through spurts and hyperfixations where I want to learn a technique, or I want to learn a painting style, and then I will just hammer that for maybe a couple days, maybe a couple weeks, depending on how much free time I have, until I feel confident in that. And then I'll finish that up, and then I'll usually take a break, and then on to the next thing that kind of piques my interest. So like this year, I made a goal to try to get better at human skin tone, because I was not very confident in my skin tones. So that was a big focus on me for a few months this year.
Cool. Well, we're looking forward. We have a couple of pictures for later where we go through some of the stuff you sent over. But I think, as with all of these things, seeing them in person is the real key. You know, the photos are
absolutely
fine for giving you an idea, but I think in person really does. I remember spoken about it before when I first went to Legion's Con. I saw the in person, the head sculpts. I was like, okay, I need to work harder. You know, I was like, okay,
yep.
I know that I can see it's possible here. I was only starting off anyway, or you know, kind of maybe a year into it, but I was like, okay, this is possible to achieve. These other guys are doing it, so I know what I need to look at in person, and I'm not just looking at pictures, because pictures can also, you know, some people can maybe take very flattering pictures sometimes as well. That can also work in the reverse. I don't know how to do that myself, but
if you figure that out, let me know, because I look at mine and I'm like, geez, I hope people see this in person, because this picture is not good.
It's just getting into a very dark room, you know, and just switching off the light and taking a picture. Yeah, and then it looks.
That's how I look my best. Yeah.
Yeah. Turn the lights off there. Look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and who? So besides from obviously your table, who else do you always look forward to, or anyone new this year that you're looking forward to seeing, or people, you know, and customs? You
know, people. I mean, there's so many. I don't want to leave anybody out. I mean, you three odd. Well, you two minus Rich. I mean, you know, whatever. Rich keeps ducking me, so you know he's. I'm kidding.
He's done that a few times on this series. You know, he's ducking people. You know, I think Anthony was possibly the only one he purposely ducked. We can say, you know, I mean, I don't think he did that, but let's just say that. I can't imagine him ducking you.
I'm looking forward to seeing you three again. Noah, Dennis, Eric, a lot of people, you know, Eric LeBron, Brian Berg. I feel bad because I don't want to leave somebody out. You know, Len's one of the nicest people imaginable. There's
totally
Nate Armstrong, Eric Bateman, my good buddy Daniel Douglas will be there this year for the first time, so I'm really looking forward to seeing him.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of people.
Is he attending, or is he anything with an exhibitor as well?
No, just attending. So
okay.
There's so many people that I want to see. You know, art. I feel bad because I know I'm going to leave people out, and I don't want to do that because there's so many people I genuinely enjoy.
No, we can take for granted anyone you don't mention is still included. You know, it's just what comes to the top of the head. But so all you guys up around that area actually seem to be very chill. I mean, obviously Noah, we know Noah is not. I mean, he's Minnesota, so not that far from you. He's very chill as well. So is that a thing up there? Is it just that you feel kind of like you're in the middle of everything? So, you know, just let the other sides kind of battle it out and we just chill in the middle here?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's, you know, it's just fun time. You know, it's not like I'm going there to, you know, make my rent or you know, make my mortgage or anything that. Yeah. So, you know, for me, it's a time to go and find some inspiration and see some new ideas and talk to, you know, a lot of people with shared interests and, you know, have some fun. And, you know, it's if you see Noah walking around with kick signs on his back, that was Dennis. It was not me. So, yeah. But I just think for the most part, you know, there's a very good group of people that just enjoy the process, the art, and the community. And every community's kind of got that tipping point where maybe it gets a bit more competitive, for lack of a better term, or a bit more critical. And it doesn't seem like it's hit that yet. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about the community that, you know, Walter and the admins and everybody have cultivated there, and that the Horsemen and Jeremy and Bateri have cultivated with their show, is it's a very supportive area, and they don't, you know, if there is nonsense, doesn't seem to be much of it.
It's a little bit, it's kind of self-regulating a bit, you know, without being like, you know, there's nobody coming over kind of, you know, being overbearing and kind of saying, you know, you need to stop, guys. But it's kind of more of I think people just know what to do. And there might be the odd side eye thrown at somebody that's starting to get out of line, and then it's, nothing really happens. Or I don't know. I don't see anyone making a big intervention saying, we need to stop the BS over here, guys. It just seems to work. But I do think a lot of it is also the shared interest and the fact that maybe a lot of us don't get to, in our day-to-day lives, kind of chat to people about this hobby, and with the kind of enthusiasm and the just the interest and the no explanations required. It's just we can skip to just what we think. there's no context needed. It's just we're all here and we all know why we're here, and we can just talk about what we like and what we don't like, and then you can go off in all the other directions, of course, talking about all sorts of other interests you have in your life and all that kind of stuff. But you start the start of the conversation is the hobby, which is kind of the opposite, I think, to what we do every day. If you're talking to a coworker about your hobby, you probably have to give them a bit of context and explain and try and say it's I'm not a child, kind of the basic thing. And it's like, but I think in these days it's getting more and more acceptable or normalized that people collect stuff, and it's the same as people that collect watches, and it's the same as people that collect stamps or whatever. It's nothing different to that. It's just now that there's a long enough era of toys that toys are kind of something that's kind of from far in the past as well. They can be the nostalgia, but there's also this modern cool stuff that we can all be into too.
Yeah, I think it's very cyclical. I mean, every age group, I think, kind of has that thing that they go through. We've all probably lived through, comics being, a huge collection for a lot of people. And that spanned a lot of different time frames, because you're talking, the golden age back in the 1920s and 30s through current. I mean, you're still almost 100 years later and people still collect them. And I just think in general, there's a lot less, for lack of a better term, shame surrounded, the nerdy aspect of things, or maybe what weren't historically perceived as the usual hobbies. And it's I love it because you find out there's so many more people that actually have those interests than just your own little circle where you're located at.
But totally, today I was watching a movie and there was skateboarding around, and this is a movie aimed at tweens. And it made me think that actually just exactly what you said there, that a lot of what used to be subculture or, nerd culture when we were younger is now popular culture. And a lot more people, a lot of kids are into it all as well. Maybe in a different way, but like you say, a lot less pointing fingers and shame about doing it and spending the money on it, for sure.
Absolutely.
Just watching animated stuff, that's more and more like what's okay as an adult. You could watch an animated series and it can actually be, full of actually grown up themes and, like can be maybe even on the violent spectrum, could be blood and gory that you'd say, okay, I can't let my kids watch this and it's a cartoon. Whereas, 10, 15, 20 years ago, if you asked my dad, should we watch an animated thing? He'd be like, what? You're 20, can't be watching that. So it's definitely moved on. Right. Shall we move on to have a little look at some of the stuff you have, Eugene? How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
So first off, I was extremely impressed. Now we're straight into, there's cosmic stuff in here as well, Mal, but we're straight into tickling Mal's pin collecting fancies here. Some beautiful pins. And you've gone all out here. You're making me feel a little bit like I should have done more for the podcast here with some great pins here. So tell us about these.
So this is actually a collaboration with George from the studio. So George actually did these for me. And the designs were actually done by my friend Daniel Douglas in the Cabal. He's the one who made my logo years ago, and he gave me a few options and I liked them. So I thought, well, I reached out to George at Legion's Con last year and kind of asked him, what it would entail. And he said, well, reach out to me. And I had lost his contact information, and Eric Miller was kind enough to point me in the right direction from there. So George and I had went back and forth and came up with these 4 designs based on logos that Dan had made for me. So these were done by him. I got them in earlier this summer. I think this is what I would call the official reveal, because I had sent out a couple just to a few people throughout the year, but I hadn't actually announced them because I wanted to
I remember
kind of save that.
me the pics of them, and I was like, oh, cool, this is going to be cool.
So for the listeners, we're looking at there's four designs we're looking at. 2 different types of shield with at the top a full T-Rex with a little flame on his tail, one in red, one in yellow, back with a red or yellow backdrop, and below that it's not a flame, is it? It's a paintbrush. Sorry,
right.
Eugene.
It's all right.
And then below that, a slightly smaller pin with the sort of portrait of the T-Rex with a little paintbrush in his hand. Again, red background and yellow background.
Yep. So if you see me on any of my socials, it's my logo in pin format essentially, and my name that I had kind of chosen for the hobby was based upon an old forum name, and then because I was Grimlock is king on that, because it was one of my favorite episodes of Transformers growing up, was this big strong dinosaurs basically going, whatever, I'm in charge here, and during the time that I had made that name, I had gotten my PhD in psychology, and so then we did
I feel dumb now, Mal, when you tell me he just drops a line and I think like, oh, that was take all.
As I'm looking the microphone,
Sorry, don't let us derail you with our self-pity here.
If it makes you feel any better, I don't get to use it as much as I thought I would, so it doesn't really affect my day-to-day much.
You got the letters. It shows you're smart.
It shows I'm persistent.
Or persistent, one or the other.
We'll go with persistent. So that's how that kind of came across, because I was going back and forth with Dan on it, and then I said, with copyright stuff, I didn't want to run afoul of Hasbro or anything like that. So we just kind of, at that time, I'd been working on a Plague Doctor custom, and he goes, well, why don't we kind of go from that angle? And I was like, I like that. And so that's kind of how Dr. Grimm Customs came about.
Yeah, it works. It's awesome.
Cool.
You had little magnets, really cool magnets actually last year with the logo, didn't you?
Yeah. My wife made those for everybody last year. And this year I will not have magnets, but the pins will be for sale. Not sure on the price yet. Probably either $10 or $8, and then a discount if you get all 4.
That's
and cool. I will also have those little badge ribbons that everybody else has been posting about lately.
Yes.
Mine haven't come in yet, and I'll have some stickers as well. So.
Cool. So you can get some swag on top of the normal stuff. So that's really cool. That's definitely pins that are going to be on my little pin thing that you can't see behind me over here. Looking forward to that. Right, let's get on to some customs. Straight away with the cosmic. So we were chatting about the red for the red jet pilot for ages in the summer, and then you had nailed it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna concentrate on some other stuff here because Eugene has this nailed, and we can see how much as we go along here a little bit.
Very cool.
So this is who did this head sculpt? Like, where does this come from?
I think it's a Wolf King Customs head sculpt.
Right.
I think that's one of them that Len had done. And the original idea, and I just haven't gotten around to it, was there was a samurai skeleton transformer by the name of Bludgeon, and originally that's where I was going to go with it. And then, as I was constantly, messaging you how frustrated I was trying to find that red color, it became one of my test heads. So
nice. Well, it worked. It worked. Really like this. So it's a skeleton with the kind of it looks like a cap, is it, or it's some sort of a helmet?
Yeah, it's the samurai helmet headdress.
Samurai helmet. Yeah. Very cool. Right, we got a bunch of them here then. So Mal is coming to your table already, we can see. So I recognize there's a few Wolf Kings here, a few Brian Burkes, looks like. So Anthony, you want to tell us about these? I love the gold as well with the red. That really works.
Thank you. Yeah, most of these, like you said, are Wolf King or Brian Burke. There's also the bottom right, the little samurai-looking one. I think that one is from the Star Wars Geek Customs on eBay that I had linked you about earlier. So I bought a few different, like Star Wars and Halo-inspired ones, and that was one that caught my eye. So on these, I just was kind of looking for ways to spruce up the red jets because I really like I think it's one of the most beautiful cosmic ones, and
it is. Yeah,
I just wanted to kind of have a nice little variety for people to pick from, especially if they'd gotten some during the sale this summer that went on for a while. So
absolutely, yeah. Because they are a figure that you want to have a squad of. So if you have a squad of them, what's cooler than that is they all have a slightly different helmet, head sculpt, whatever it be. So really cool. So go to Eugene for your red jets. And here's a cosmic robot fox. Is it a fox kind of wolf? No, it's a fox.
It's one of the bundles that Len did when he was selling the builders. So I can't remember exactly what the name of it was, but that was one of the first ones that I had messed around with trying to get that color right.
That's really good, that one.
It looks pretty spot on, to be honest, to me. And we have another one here. This is a more robot looking one, or I don't know what you'd call it, but yeah, really cool. I know this one, this skeleton head I've done a few times in different colors, not in this color, but yeah, it's kind of like a robot skeleton with the kind of cables coming into these kind of like ports on the head that look like they're, feeding him, a bit like the slog thing where he's connected and kind of juiced up. So, that was a great idea with this head and the gold teeth.
Yeah, it kind of comes off a little Iron Man at times, but I like the contrast between that. It breaks up the red and the gunmetal a bit.
It works though.
It
sure works.
I saw people when they saw the red jet body originally. I remember people going, "Oh, Iron Man Customs." So there'll be people eager to get that sort of color palette for sure.
Exactly. Now, see, we're talking about skin tones, so you've you're pandering to the dwarf crowd here.
I am. I don't think I got any money from them last year, so we need to rectify that this year. I just
when they're not hustling, they're definitely buying dwarfs. So just wink in their general direction. Are these both my action figure customs sculpts?
I think one might be Wolf Kings. I think the one with the brunette hair, I think that one's Wolf King. I know the blonde haired one is definitely MAFC.
Yeah, that's a Matt O'Toole one. I've seen that a few times.
The eyes look fantastic on them.
Yeah, I love the fact that you did the kind of the real shadow around the eyes and then the kind of bright eye in behind it. It looks very almost Viking like.
Might have been watching The Last Kingdom a little bit.
Oh yeah, what a show! What a show! We should start a podcast about that.
Sign me up.
Maybe a little Patreon side quest. So we got a bunch of Red Jet helmets here as well. I love the one that's on the torso there. You don't know where that one is from, or
it's a Brian C. It's one of his. So it's his. I think he calls it the Angel. I can't remember if it's the Angel Knight or just it's the Knight helmet that he had. I'd gotten a few from him last year that I'd taken to the show, and people really liked that design. And so when I had ordered a few more parts from him after the show, I grabbed a few and I thought, well, let's see what that looks like. So
that's cool. And this big yellow kind of alien type sculpt, that is really cool as well.
Yeah, one was from Legion Shop before they closed down. I think that might be Mark Rivera that did that one. I can't remember 100% who did that one.
Okay. So I think That's Jesse Arnold's kind of group there. Him, Mark Rivera, and Brian C. So you're covered there with those three boys. More red jets. Look at this. Oh, the Transformers Type 1 over here is cool as well. I think that's an Emil Wickman sculpt, isn't it?
Yeah, that one I might have to take a wash to that one before I seal it, just to knock the color down a little bit. But I really like that the black on that one. It's that Pro Acryl satin black that's become my go-to for so many things lately.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I have to say that. That black, because I wasn't a huge fan of their matte black. It's good for certain things, but this new satin black they have is fantastic for all these kind of black, where you want it slightly shiny but not like glossy. So, really nice. And that one, did you paint that one that's on the body as well, Mal?
It's the Von Box one, isn't it? From Brian Burke, which I think is an awesome sculpt, really sort of sinister.
It's one of my favorites he's done. I was going back and forth because I order 2 each month because I usually figure, okay, I'll make one and maybe sell one. This is one where I'm like, I'm going to sell it, but I probably will. And I'll keep the other one that I painted that I haven't shown. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think they're going to be popular sculpts they're cool, and also they're quite hard to track down if you haven't been subscribed to the One Box. Right. Let's move along. Oh, look at that. So we got some more Cosmic. See, Cosmic is so fun to paint, isn't it?
There's less rules, which I appreciate. It gives me a license to be a little bit weird with it, so, which I appreciate, which I like doing. So
you can experiment and you can try new techniques, as you said. And the thing I like about these is they glow in the dark, don't they?
These. I've got a lot of them. My Cosmic have some element of fluorescent in it.
Here we go.
I forgot you do that.
There we go.
It always looks awesome as well.
Glow in the dark, and you've even got some like almost magic ink, you would say, the way it works, where you can put the blue light on it and it shows you some kind of code or inscription on the head. So
my goal every time I paint a Cosmic sculpt is to make Mal go, okay, I need to spend more money.
It's working.
There's people who paint vampires that just think of Rich, and there's people that paint Cosmic like you, Eugene, and they think Mal. Yeah, I like it. That works perfect. Again, this sculpt that we talked about over here, the skeleton again with the cables differently done, totally changes it up, and really cool. Really works again. The eyes as well. All the eyes are different here, but they all work in their own little different way. So really appreciate that. This lady here, amazing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
She's probably my favorite one I've done this year. I did a lot of different things with her that I hadn't done before.
Yeah, it's really cool. Firstly, that you've done the kind of 2 different types of skin tones, a bit like how Vorga has done in a way. And to kind of line them up is already difficult, I guess. So what did you get the blue down and then go over with the kind of pinkish color, or how did you do that?
So on that one, I just put the base coat down on both at the same time so that I could kind of clean up the edges as I went along. And then the blue I did finish up first because I actually went in and it's probably easier to see on the fluorescent one. But then I went and I did like fluorescent light tattoos on the pink.
Wow.
And with the hair. So it was the first time I had tried to do some different type of tattooed skin. So that was a fun one to experiment with.
Yeah, she's really cool. And then the hair is another kind of bright color, like so fluorescent green.
Yep.
Again, glows up. So, yeah, I'm definitely bringing a blue light to Legion's Con because I have something like this as well, but also to go around to Eugene's table and just, have fun. Maybe tell Joe Vetri, can you switch off the lights there for a sec? Did that happen last year? Actually, by accident, I'm trying to get a flashback when I said that.
Yeah.
It was a little power outage for a minute or two. Yeah, we were.
I can't remember. Was that Friday night or was that during the show itself?
I think it was during the show, but I could be wrong. Right, more human skin tones. I love all of these. I especially like the second one from the left with the kind of more modern looking haircut almost here. Just the depth he got in this guy is really amazing.
Yeah, that's one that I bought a few of them before they retired it, and at some point it will be a grown-up Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes. But I gotta get the time to flesh that all out.
Love that. So these are all Sebadom skulls, is that right?
All but the second one from the right. That's a Wolf
King. The second
King.
one from the right, yeah, that's a Wolf King. Okay. I knew 3 of them. I took a chance, but hey, and that's one of my favorite Seba sculpts, the one on the far right. He's awesome
I'm going to be really sad when that one goes away.
Yeah, but you should take it off Eugene's hands because it's really good, guys. So, more cool looking sculpts here. Look at that! Oh, live reaction here.
I missed out on the. I didn't get the. Is it the Dork on box that the 2 either side are from, and I might be looking for one of them this year.
Well,
they're very cool.
Would you like if they glowed a little bit like the eyes and stuff?
Even better.
So do you have when you do this type of so they're all kind of similar, like the skin tone here of the 2 on the left, for example, is similar. Do you have an idea for a race of these, or do you just kind of think that works well for the sculptor?
For this, it was more, like I was kind of talking earlier, I tend to hit a point where I want to try something, and more natural looking fur, like in nature, was something that I hadn't really experimented with a lot. So I had looked at, some different animals that I thought might have kind of been inspired by it. So I tried a lot of oranges and browns with it just to try to get a little bit more layer and depth with it to really bring out the texture that, Brian and Emil had put on those sculpts. And a lot of it, it's just kind of like, here's the color wheel. I haven't messed with that color. What do I think that might work with that?
Well, you got it. And the horns here on this guy in the middle look fantastic as well. Yeah. I love the different shades you got there. Right, some more awesome ones. A couple of Wolfskings here for sure. Maybe all 3.
I think the one on the left is Von Box, I think.
Von Box, okay.
So, yeah.
Probably an Emil though as well. That's why I was thinking it was a Wolf King. Yeah, awesome here. I love if you put your hand over the screen here, if you're watching on YouTube, and you can just do the different halves of this kind of corrupted demon / human head. Really cool. Really works. And again, a dwarf with a helmet with a face guard that you can put on and off. So,
Yeah, he'll probably be part of a full custom if I get it all done before I leave. So that's actually painted to match the Valiant Knight colors. So a Valiant Dwarf is currently about 75% done.
Oh, okay. You'll get there. You get there. Yeah, absolutely. Some more. So this one in the middle, tell us about this one. I really like that one.
That's another Von Box. I can't remember. It was when he was doing his sea themes, and I think I had put Pirates of the Caribbean on or something just for background noise while I was working one day. And, I started talking about pearls, and I thought, well, he's kind of got those barnacle looking things on his face. So maybe try to make him look a little, pearlescent. And that's how that one kind of came to be. I intended at some point to have it on a Marley body, but just haven't gotten around to it.
Oh, I think that would work. And definitely. One of the classic Sebadom dwarfs here on the right. Again, with a lot of cool detail in the beard too. And then if we move on for that other one, we've got a little hidden message here. So this is KILLU. So yeah, don't want to meet him in a dark alley when I have my blue light.
Yeah. Cyberpunk club or something. He's like, oh.
Yeah.
I think it was. I had one last year that I had painted similar to that, and I had put "You are dead" on it. And Eric LeBron came right away. He's like, "Hi, that's mine." It's like, okay. And I had a couple people asking for one similar to that, and I was like, I only got the one, so it's like, I'll try something a little bit different this time.
Yeah, it's cool.
Love it. You got to get to Eugene's table quick to snap these up. Bring your blue light. Search for the hidden messages. And then some patina to show Matt Stein that he's not the only patina man in town.
Wasn't the intention, but
no, I know. I'm only just trying to stir the pot here. Looks great. This helmet on the right is a Wolf King classic one. I've seen it. I've painted that a few times myself in different colors. Great helmet. And the one on the left is a cosmic one from Wolf King, and the one in the middle I don't know at all, so might be a Von Box would be my guess.
Yep, that's a Von Box. So hopefully have those as part of full customs as well too. So they're currently they're in the disassembled part, but my bronze night that I did, or patina night I did last year, went right away. So I thought I'd try to do a couple this year because the method I use is a bit different from everybody else's. It's the Pro Acryl one that they had shown about a year ago.
Yes, that's a great one. Yeah. So this, I was going to say, this is Pro Acryl bronze here. I recognize that color. It's a great. They have three. They have a light bronze, a bronze, and a dark bronze, and I love them. I think if I could take only those three metallic paints, I'd probably just take those three. You know, if you could only take three metallic paints, because you can do a lot with them.
Yes.
Although you would need a metallic silver, but hey, you know, we'll have to live without it. Right, I wanted to show one or two other things here from your Instagram. So if you can bear with me for 1 second, I'll pop that up. So there we go. Our head. So you have two. You have, we sent you the two heads to do what you will with them, and you did what you will and made a great job of them. So this is the Shanachie, the leprechaun head. So firstly, the beard, I mean, it just pops off the screen. That's really super awesome what you've done there with the oranges. Love that. Eyes, the green eyes, perfect. And then talk to us about the cards here. I love. Oh, where? On the previous picture? Or?
Yeah, no, John, put Eugene
on the screen. Sorry, I'm on the other. Oh, hello. Okay, I'll put you up big here. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was
sneak peek at
throw it up there again, Eugene. Yeah. Throw it up there again.
So.
Oh, hello.
Wow.
Look at that.
That looks fantastic.
Oh, so you've used the Marley torso here with the coat. I love it.
Yep. So I was actually trying to get this together for a test fit before, and I ran out of time. So
oh, no problem, mate. We'll happily wait to see that. That's going to be gold.
Yeah, that looks fantastic.
I love the red. So you did a little nod to me here with the Irish and Luxembourg flags on the cards, which is super cool. Just that little extra mile that I love.
And a little bit on this here as well too that you and I had talked about. That way you can actually see it a little bit clearer.
If you
John, hello, bring you up again. Sorry, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's faint. It'll work better under the black light.
Oh,
but
cool.
You and I had some conversations.
So he's used this stone language that I put on the sculpt on the little metal thing on the hat, where it says ELP in this old stone language. And what have you done then? I've given you link to wherever I got it, and
and this is Sean, since there's no John that exists in that translator.
Oh, cool.
So
very cool,
awesome. There you go. So I love all those little nods. And we have
little Easter eggs in sculpting.
Little Easter eggs, exactly.
Sculpt.
That's the perfect thing. Look at that. He's going to come and take your breakfast. And you can see that the beard glows.
Well.
Yeah, so yeah. All these Easter eggs, I'm telling you. And then the one you did, Mal, for us. So this is this one. So
yeah, this is very cool.
I loved this.
Oh, and we got another very cool looking.
So here we go. Oh, look at that. He's coming together. Oh, look, he's done the Marley coat again.
Yeah. It's a superb piece. I hope they do that on a slightly cheaper figure at some point.
It's the reason I want more Frankensteins to get his coat as well.
Yeah. That looks really, really cool.
Oh,
and
wow.
Again, we've got some writing on the chest plate. Well, rune kind of things.
Yeah, rune-ish thing, yeah.
I got you guys's, and then Mal on there. So.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome. There you go. He's coming for us, Mal. Coming for our wallets. So, you get a great look there at the little different metallic details, and the teeth are awesome. And this, does this go under blacklight as well? Or is this?
No, that one doesn't. I don't think I did any blacklight on that one.
Cool. So, yeah, you get a great look at it there. So, I loved painting that sculpt. I did it a few different ways, and I also, with the fluorescence, and then I also did a custom where I did it kind of grim, darky kind of color. And yeah, I think I could do it another 10 ways if, if we have some left over after Legion's gone, I'll probably just scoop them up for myself and say, right, I'm going to do more painting on these because they're so much fun to paint. So they're great. They're great. That sculpt is a great beginner friendly sculpt to paint, but it's also one that if you're further down the road on your customizing journey, you can do all the little details, and you can do more highlighting and washing and stuff like that and glazing that you could do really easily with the kind of fairly beginner method. And the beginner method still looks awesome, but you can get at that other 10% if you do your kind of more advanced techniques. So that's what I like about it. Whereas some sculpts, like I think the leprechaun is a little bit more daunting to paint because there's just, you have to do the human face, and the hat is a bit awkward with the hair, and there's a lot of, I don't know about you, Eugene, but I had to come back and touch up the hair and the hat and just make sure that, then I do in last pass, and then I go, oh, there's a little bit of hair on the hat. I need to know, go and...
I've got to say, that's one of the concepts I think Edu got perfectly understood from my sort of what I was telling him, was because I'd mentioned having the plates, like armor plating on there with the intention that you could wash it and then dry brush it and still get a really good result if you were a bit more of a beginner.
Yeah, I think he got it to a T. I was too stupid to say that, but at the same time, I'm happy with what I got.
They're both fantastic.
We've got both bases covered. So if you want to go all out, you can get my one, and if you want to just have an easy time, you get Mal's, and if you want both, you can get both.
Everyone should buy both.
I agree. They're fantastic sculpts, and I appreciate you guys trusting me with displaying them.
Well, if we weren't going to trust you, we weren't going to trust anyone. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Eugene, the time has absolutely flown. This has been such fun chat, and really enjoyed it. And I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks from this conversation, and probably less than a week from when this episode is out. So imagine that. Are you, just one last thing, are you going to intern or any of those things?
I'm not. We were fortunate to do intern the last 2 years, but did not get picked this year.
Okay, I don't feel super bad for you then if you've done it already.
No, we were pretty fortunate.
When are you hitting the tarmac in New York?
I'm flying in Wednesday night, so I'll get in late Wednesday night. I think about 10:30 at night.
So we'll see you Thursday after. We might see you for breakfast, but otherwise we'll see you Thursday after intern back at the hotel. We can have a little refreshment and whatever, little chat.
Yeah.
Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a plan. I'm going to say it's too bad Rich isn't here because, he missed his little homage too.
Oh, no. Got to show that off, yeah.
I mean,
my God.
He likes the Red Hellions, but,
Look at that.
I'll have to take it apart because, he's ducking me, so.
That is very cool.
That is so cool. Love it, Eugene.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I have seen you've sent me a picture of that head before, just asking me what I thought of it. Would Rich be impressed? And I said, yeah, of course. But yeah, very cool to see the kind of build you're going to use. So, cool.
Well, Mal showed that Terminator earlier today and looked fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
And,
thank you.
Before he beats me on this one.
Oh, we're going to have a battle across. You got to bring it now, Mal.
Yeah,
we're going to have a battle across the hall. Look at that Predator.
Oops.
He's done a Predator. It's the Novian lean head. He's used it. Look at that ingenious the tassels, the kind of dreadlocks. He's used the little pipe or the little tube pieces that you get with the helmets. He has mounted a gun on. What is that piece that the gun is on, Eugene?
It's actually the latest Sphexian, their crotch piece. So
awesome.
It plugs into his back shoulder, and then there's a.
So he's butchered his Sphexian just to get a shoulder pad. There you go, and he's magnetized it. Oh my God!
And wow, the way you painted that as well, the skin and that's so cool.
Oh, we're going out in a banger. Well, look, it can't get any better than that. So, see you latest Thursday evening in Legion's Con week. Eugene, thanks a million for your time. This has been
thanks awesome. For having me, guys.
Right, we have him back again. He was part of our interviews with our awesome Patreons, and he's back again for a chat because he is playing a pretty decent role in a little event this year in Legion's Con. It's Chris James. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing good, sir. Thank you guys for having me on again. It's an absolute pleasure.
No problem. Thanks for being one of our supporters and always giving us positive, awesome feedback. So that's it's always super to hear.
Anytime.
So how are you doing? You had a little informal kind of part swap thing last year, and this has kind of evolved, which is what a lot of this whole Legion's Con thing has kind of come from, a smaller thing into a bigger thing. And now you're a smaller little super cool idea that people kind of spontaneously joined in. Some people maybe were more prepared than others, like the others being me. But yeah, so you did a little part swap last year in the lobby kind of area, or one of the lobby areas, and now it's kind of getting officialized this year.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It actually, the whole idea came back 2 years ago at Legion's Con 2022, and it was like kind of like the month leading up to it. With Nathaniel Armstrong was looking for some specific parts. I happened to have those. And then we ended up just talking about maybe just working out the trade in the hotel lobby. And then that's what we did. And it was nice. I mean, it was literally just us at that time. And then I don't know, it was fun. It was a good time. And then it was last year, literally like 2 weeks before the show, I had the idea, and I put together everything, the rules and stuff like that. Sent it over to Jeremy just to see maybe if he'd okay it. And he was cool with everything. We talked about a couple of like the rules, and then he greenlit it. So I made the post, and that's why a lot of people really didn't know about it, because it was on such short notice. But one of the things, the biggest takeaway that made my Legion's Con weekend for me is that we wasn't even an hour into the event, and Joe Viteri came over, checked over the tables and stuff, and looked at me and told me that this was a genius idea and we're going to make it a staple going forward, and then shook my hand. That made my entire weekend, because I felt like it went over more than what I could have ever expected.
Yeah.
And then hearing from Jeremy multiple times throughout this year that we're going to make it official. Now it's officially like on the programming. I've worked with Len and some of the other guys that are going to be like kind of like the mainstays in it. And Len came up and did the little logo and the name that's a part of the event. So it's like it's becoming more real, and I just can't wait to see what happens when we get there.
Absolutely, yeah. So we see here on the agenda, you see it there, Legion's in the lobby, right there. It says 9 p.m. on Tuesday. No, sorry, it's not Legion's in the lobby. It's 7 p.m. Pop and Swaps parts exchange. So bring your Legion's fodder and get ready to exchange and swap parts. Learn more about popping and swapping, led by Chris James and the team at Wolf King Customs. So held in the first floor lobby space. And for dumb Europeans like us, you would think that's up a stairs, but it's actually, no, it's on the ground floor. Yeah. The one we call G. Yep. So not the first
lobby.
Floor. The lobby. So yeah, right. So is it the same place as last year, down that kind of corridor to kind of outside where the main doors are, or have you decided?
It's not going to be in the exact same spot, only because of the amount of people and from what Jeremy said, without giving away anything, because he didn't. But apparently that space is going to be a little bit more crowded with stuff they're going to have. So take that how you will.
Okay.
It's going to be down the main hall where the two entrances are into like to you guys' table and stuff like that. So it's going to be in that little hallway.
Down. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yep. Cool. That's where it's going to take place.
Awesome. And as you said, you have this awesome logo. This is the one that Len did. Is that right?
Yeah. From what I know, Len got with Jesse Arnold and threw that logo together.
So who's this handsome fella in the logo?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean, it looks like you, Chris, but without the cap. But you know,
I was going to say I've never seen for that baseball cap, so I don't know.
So now we know he has hair, which is kind of more than a lot of the guys at Legion's Con. You know, so love it, Chris, love it. Yeah, so this is really cool. Are you going to do any little stickers? Is Glenn going to do stickers and stuff with it? Because I want this sticker, or you know.
I think this year it's just going to be the logo. There may or may not be a banner with that. But the plan is for next year to have stickers, potentially shirts, other sort of things, maybe even pens, maybe.
Pin would be good.
If we get to it later, there is a teaser in the logo, actually, of something that's going to be fully revealed at Legion's Con, because I've also been a part of another group that I was given the reins of back in the summer. So you can kind of make it out on the shirt. But it'll be fully revealed, and I will have stickers of that. Cool. I'll have stickers of that, but I also took a play out of your guys' book that I really enjoyed, because stickers, you'll find stickers, you'll find shirts, and you'll find pins. I like different. And that was one of the big takeaways that I liked from your guys' table from last year, is that if I remember right, you guys had beer coasters on your table.
Oh yeah, you're looking at the man in the middle there, Mal. He was the...
So I'll have coasters of the full design that's on the shirt. But I don't have many, so I'm going to be giving them out to
I subconsciously stole that off idea of Legion's Lounge, so I've got to give them credit.
Yeah.
all good. All good ideas are worth copying, you know. So this text is a bit small on the screen here, but we should maybe just go through it a little bit, Chris, so that people know kind of, you know, there is some rules. So we should. So the first thing to say is that it's a pop and swap event. So we're, you know, people. The main idea here is to swap different Legion's parts. So I guess the concept is, you know, we all have tubs of accessories that we don't use with our figures, or if we're customizers, for example, we maybe bought figures for custom. You needed like the lower legs or the upper legs, and you needed the accessories, and then you don't, you know, the rest of it goes into your fodder, and then you either use it on a future custom, or it just sits there for ages and you don't know what to do with it. And then you come and say, oh, I need these upper legs that I don't have. And then you put a post up in the cabal maybe, and you say, does anyone have these upper legs? I have different parts to trade. So this is going to be that in person pretty much, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the big takeaways, like you mentioned in the beginning, is that so Bill Dorklayer is going to have his own table set up, and he'll have kind of like demoing and allowing people to come up and get more hands-on experience about doing the pop and swap. And then for anybody else that's been more a part of the line, they'll get kind of directed to everybody else's tables or spots that they have with their bins and things like that.
Right. And the kind of main thing here is that we're looking for factory parts. Is that right? Can you explain that kind of thinking behind it? Yeah.
So in the spirit of the event, because it is Legion's Con, it's a con for Legions and stuff like that. So it's obviously anything that's made by the Four Horsemen Studios, Figure Obscura, Mythic Legions, Cosmic Legions, all of those parts are okay. After talking with some of the guys, because since this is a combined event for doing the pop and swap that Len and Dorklayer has been doing, so it's going to be pieces, as long as they're fodder, they can be pieces from other lines, but they have to be factory pieces. This absolutely cannot be 3D printed parts, just because of all the other individuals that are going to be selling 3D printed parts inside during show hours. So, for example, like I had mentioned, like Toys Biz Lord of the Ring figures, as long as the figures are broken down, then that's fine. If it's from other lines, like Jeremy has used a number of times, Hasbro Black Series Kylo Ren pieces, as long as those are individual pieces, then that's fine. No full figures of any line is allowed to be traded or anything like that.
Okay, cool. So it's a true kind of fodder swap. So
yeah.
And then the pop and swap part of it is along the lines of what Wolfgang did before. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
this year it's going to be really similar to like what they've done, except from what I understand this year, it's not going to be Lynn's bins. It's actually going to be Dorklayer's. So what he's been doing is, since Four Horsemen has been having the in-stock sales with like Legion builders and things like that, he's been picking up some here and there and breaking them down and putting them into bins. Excuse me. So he'll have his bin set up and allow people to come up, pick pieces. If they want to leave one, then they can. Otherwise, they can pick whatever pieces that they have to. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to build a figure out of it, but they'll be able to find that out through him in person there.
Cool. So this kind of links well into your event then as well, because you can, people can kind of pick up parts and see how to integrate it into. And what about buying parts? Is that allowed, or is this purely a trade thing?
So that's kind of the gray area, right?
Okay.
So
that's a last resort thing.
Yes, kind of. Like if you read through, or if anybody was to read through like the rules, that was never actually explicitly mentioned. But it was not mentioned, so then that way we don't have people coming up with bins or totes or whatever of parts and truly just selling, because that takes away from the spirit.
Gotcha.
If somebody was to come up and they didn't have anything, like maybe, but it's more the whole spirit behind it is barter, trading, piece for piece. Yeah. That's really where it's supposed to be.
Okay, so it's really a trade event. I mean, maybe, as you say, if there's someone that just happens to stumble along and they're like, oh, I really need this sword, and I don't have anything, then we can maybe, but it's not designed for, as you say, somebody to come along and say, right, $500 for this bucket of stuff,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not the vibe we're going for here. Cool.
No,
So
absolutely not.
so you're going to be busy with that. We're still going to make the My Wife Is Going to Kill Me show, I guess, at 9:00 that same night. Got to do the tear down pretty quickly then afterwards.
Well, here's the thing, right? Because I did message Jeremy about that, because we were talking in the beginning. We were talking going back and forth on times. I'm totally cool with it being later like it was last year. But we decided that we would do it earlier because of the after hours and before dinner and stuff like that. So, because there wasn't really anything going on. So I'm completely cool with that. The end time is 8:30 because I want to attend the My Wife Is Going to Kill Me Guys podcast. Okay.
Fair enough. It's a great event.
Yeah, exactly. I had asked him, is it okay after the show is over, if those that were interested wanted to restart it? Is that okay? Could I do that? And he said, yeah, absolutely. So
Cool.
It can actually stay. It can go as long as it goes. It doesn't technically have to end at 8:30. If there is somebody that's there that's not going to be attending the My Wife Is Going to Kill Me show and they want to go ahead and continue it, as long as they can continue it within the same rules that are applied, then it can go. It can go until like it did last year after 1 a.m. So yeah, I'm totally cool. I'm here for it. So let's do it.
Awesome. Okay, so so it's going to be a kind of community thing. I think like all these things that I've seen at Legion's Con, it will just kind of continue and work. The thing is to get it going, and then it's like a sing song at a party. Once you get it going, it never stops.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. So then tell me, what are your other plans for Legion's Con? What's your kind of bucket list of stuff that you want to get, apart from the people? I mean, we all know that the main thing we want to do there is go and hang out with the people. But who are you looking for on Saturday? Are you going to intern firstly?
As far as I know right now, no. I didn't get selected, and I wasn't invited. But we are going to be up there. We're checking in on Wednesday, just like what we did last year. So it's like, if in the event, if I don't, I'm fine with that. I've been there twice. I'm okay.
Yeah.
We have plans what we're going to do if I don't go, because she knows that if I do for some reason get an invite, I really want to go to intern again.
Yeah.
But if I don't, then we're going to take a drive up to like Sleepy Hollow and check that place out, have some lunch there, sightsee, make our way back to the hotel. So that'll be fun. We
one
both
way or another, you're going to have a good Thursday.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then Friday we got G-Con, so obviously we're going to be lined up for that. And then Friday night, we got the bar in the lobby.
Well, set up and then
I'm going to try and be in bed
set up
before like I was last year.
Yeah,
but we'll see what happens. Last year, Saturday morning, I didn't go into bed until 6:30 of day one. Yeah.
Oh, like Friday into Saturday.
Yes.
Oh my God! And did you get up at like 9 or whatever when the start time was?
I got up to take a shower about an hour after the show started.
Okay.
Like she came back up to the room because she went down there just basically as it was opening, and she asked me
to get the show figures or whatever.
No. I didn't even worry about those. I wasn't worried about those at all. It was customs and custom hats.
Okay.
So I gave her the ones that I wanted. She made a beeline down. She came back up with the stuff, and she's like, "Did you know that there was a new figure?" I was like, "What new figure?"
The Valiant Knight.
I had no idea. So like I got up and I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to go down there and figure this out. So I took a shower, got dressed, came down, immediately ran into Dorclair. And I was like, is that the new figure? And he's like, yeah, here, check it out. He already had it out. So I got to like mess with it a little bit.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was basically that. And then Saturday, she told me after or during the Pop and Swap event or the fodder event, she's like, I don't mind you staying out. Just make sure you're not back by 6:30. I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. So Saturday night going into Sunday morning, I came back to the room at 6. So.
Yeah.
You took that literally, like not 6:30. You were like, oh,
Yeah.
you had an alarm set in your phone for 6,
Yep.
didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. I put Eric Miller to bed. I put Walter to bed.
Who's this bad influence on you that's keeping you up that late, or is it the Chris James influence?
It's last year it was more me actually, because like I had just like everybody does. I was having such a good time hanging out with everybody, and nobody asked me to do it, right?
No, I mean
like,
you're just. I mean, I guess you do you yourself. You know, it's like sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if I'm at an event like this or a wedding, my Irish genes just kick in, and it just works. You know,
disappears
mostly.
without saying goodbye.
Well, that too. But, you know, up until then, I'm absolutely amazing crack. You know, but if I went to something that I was like bored me to tears, I'd be like, I could just fall asleep in the corner, you know, at 10 o'clock, you know, no problem. But
right.
If, you know, so I do think there is something, you know, in you. If something is a good time, we have an adrenaline way of kind of keeping us going.
Yeah.
It was
Friday night. Friday night, I was up until like 3 a.m. and the time just flew by. So.
It was great, Mal, because I could get asleep before you started snoring because you weren't there.
The snoring and fidgeting next to
it. Well, that I don't care about. It's just the noise. No, it's honestly, it's fine. I'd sleep through a storm. I used to, as a late teen, early 20s, I used to have a ghetto blaster in my room. My mother used to always have to come in and put it off when she went to bed, and it was always screeching like loud heavy metal or rock music or whatever. I would be sleeping 10 minutes to that, you know. If one of my kids did it now, I'd be disgusted, but I used to do it.
Maybe that's what we should do, is to drown out all that snoring. He's put something on in the background.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's your favorite rock album? Okay, let's stick it on. And then you'll have the porter calling to the door. Sorry, sir.
Yeah.
And are you from Florida, Chris, or?
Unfortunately, yeah.
You're originally from Florida, so they breed them hard down there. You know, you're well able to keep the pace.
Yeah.
And what part?
I'm in Brevard County, so if you look at the map of Florida, there's like a point that comes off on the East Coast. That's where Cape Canaveral's at.
Right.
So I live kind of across the river from like NASA, SpaceX.
Oh, cool!
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
So you get to see the rockets when they.
Yeah, exactly.
Every time.
And where is that in relation to Jacksonville? Then it's
about an hour and a half south.
Ah, okay. Because I know Jacksonville. There's some musicians I know that come from there, like famous ones. Obviously, I don't know them. I know of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've heard of Jackson, because I mean, obviously, we all know Florida, Orlando, Miami. You know, Disney World, all that kind of stuff. But there's other cool things there. But and you survived the storms. Then, I guess over the east side, it wasn't as bad.
No, well, it was bad in some areas because, like down south of us, Palm Beach Gardens, I think that's like West Palm Beach County. They got hammered.
Oh, really?
They got hammered because they had so many tornadoes. There were so many tornadoes that this storm produced that it was insane. But luckily, like our area,
I read that there would be little pockets of areas, so you could be living like a mile over this way and you're grand, and then that other place a mile over just got a tornado and got like absolutely.
Yeah. We had one tornado warning the entire show, or the entire storm.
Yeah, was a show in a way.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, we didn't lose power the entire time, so that was awesome.
Wow. Yeah. It's just. Yeah, it's incredible that, more people, obviously some people died and that was terrible, but like it could have been, it's one of these, it was like a bit of a slow car crash because everyone knew it was going to happen and everyone was kind of, had to do whatever, if you were told to evacuate or if you couldn't evacuate and you had to stay. And then everyone was just sitting there waiting for it to happen. It was this kind of awful, maybe I suppose 24 hours before it actually passed through. And then when it passed through, then people just had to kind of figure out what their situation was. And I'm sure lots of people are still dealing with it, obviously. But I'm glad that at least few people I know down there, including yourself, Chris, doesn't seem to have been too bad for you. So, and hopefully you don't get
the most I heard out of everybody in the area that are kind of like a part of like our group and stuff. It was just like power, nothing major, thankfully, like no severe damage or nothing like that. It was just basically like small debris and stuff like that. So
cool. And so then is there anything else up to Legion's Con now? Any local shows or anything that's kind of going to happen, or are you now in the Legion's Con zone?
I'm in the Legion's Con zone. I've been in the Legion's Con zone for about, I think, basically when I came back from IshCon, that was pretty much it. Like, once that show is done, now it's just focused on this, and that's totally it.
Wow, cool. So, right, and then what are you looking to pick up then at Legion's Con? You looking for customs? What are you? Because you're a customizer yourself. I mean, you don't post that much stuff, but I know that you are a customizer. Right. So you obviously do a lot of customizing for yourself. So do you pick up customs from other people, or I mean, I know you said you picked up custom heads, but what's the plan of attack for Legion's Con?
I don't know if I'm going to do it the same way I did last year, because I may go more of just heads, maybe. Because last year I did heads, but I also picked up.
I've loads of heads, so just go heads.
Yeah. It's like these boxes right here. That's all 3D printed parts, and that's not even a fraction of everything that I have.
Wow. Yeah.
But last year I picked up some full custom figures. I may do it again. It just depends, because it's like it has to speak to me. If it's not speaking to me, then like, it's cool. Yeah. I appreciate it for what it is and the work that was put into it, but I don't know. I don't know exactly. It's hard to. I don't know. I want to see if there's any surprises on the table, on the full horseman table.
Oh yeah. I'm
looking forward to the army experience.
I know I said it to you guys, Mal and Rich, who isn't here, but I did wonder if, because we now have the parts in the library, whether we would get a barbarian, like, the Valiant Knight, but now they have all the unarmored human parts. So you could do like a barbarian, like really a barbarian with just the belt and the straps or whatever, with all those human parts, to be a kind of a roaming barbarian, a bit like the Valiant Knight is a kind of a knight that goes across the kingdom. So maybe not this year, but I think that would be a great way to introduce those parts into the kind of community. So
I have a sneaking suspicion that we're going to find some surprises on the table. Like, I know nothing, but I have a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be something.
Totally. And as I said, we're all in the same boat as regards to what we know. We only know the publicly available information, which isn't that much now. We know the armory, of course, and we've been through all that, and that's awesome. But we have no clue what the wave is, I can safely say. Right. We could maybe, suspect that big item that shall not be named is possibly going to be there. Yeah. Might have some wings. And we don't know what the wave is going to be. Like this time last year, we were talking about, Red Suns, so Rising Suns. We were talking about Sons of the Red Star versus House of the Noble Bear. And we were flogging Rich to death about, how there was going to be more Noble Bear than Red Star and all this kind of stuff. And he was getting very stressed out. This year we have no clue. Could be 2 new factions, for example, which would be amazing. Could be a bit from everywhere. Could be, which would be another smart thing for them to do. So I have no clue. And as I said, we might, we might closer to the time have an idea because the hints get dropped. But as what are we, just a bit under 3 weeks out now as we record this, there's been nothing. It's like it's omerta across the studio. I mean, you've got good NDAs or something over there, guys, because nothing is coming out. It's there are
0 leaks.
There are companies and political parties around the world that leak like a sieve. There is nothing coming out of the 4 horsemen. So I can say you're a tight unit, guys. Definitely appreciate it. Which makes it more fun, I think. I think it definitely makes it more fun because, and even speaking to people that, have been in the know or are in the know or were previously in the know, they still say the most fun is when they're at a show like a G-Con event or something like that, and they get to know in the crowd with all the people, or even online on the live stream where you just see the chat blow up and you're the same and you're trying to figure out whether you like it or not. I mean, we mostly like it, we're simple, but you still have to take a second look. It's a bit like when the Figura Obscura drops. We all just go buy, and then we go back and go, oh, it has this.
What is that?
These are new parts. Oh, there's a new accessory. So it's brilliant that it's kind of like that this year. As and I loved last year because we kind of had an idea, but so we could do more guessing. I'm not even going to guess this year, until we get more info. There's no point because we'll just look like idiots. Bigger idiots. Sorry.
It literally could be anything.
Yeah.
And
it's one of those things where we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. And see then.
Exactly. And then as regards, so Armory, you're obviously going to pick up what you can from there.
I'm going to try to, yeah.
What's your favorite color of the? What's your favorite color? It sounds like such a. That's what I'll ask.
What's your favorite color, there, buddy?
That's what I ask the kids get asked in first class in school or whatever. No, what's your favorite of the kind of colorways for the Armory?
Did you guys see Dorclair's photos?
I did, yes. Yeah. We were actually just chatting about them among the three of us as well before we started. What do you think? Yeah, that gives you I liked the red better because the red looked a bit more muted in the photo he's took in the kind of, I suppose, just daylight or whatever kind of con lighting.
Yeah.
As opposed to studio lighting. So it was a little bit less reflective and looked cool.
The build that Dorkler took a photo of the red one is the build I want, except maybe a slightly different helmet. But so I'm like, yeah, definitely getting that then.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
For me, I like the red. I'm really more interested about the green now as well. But I think with what Jeremy has been saying and what a lot of people have been saying is that even though the pre-builts are going to be coming, there's no guarantee that you may even be able to get those. So I'm not going to go with my favorite colors. This is something that I've been thinking about. I'm going for the pieces that I want to incorporate into customs.
Right.
So because I have the leather torso, that one that comes with Bardrick. I have that spray painted black right now.
Right.
And it's been for a custom that I wanted. So it's now I can just scrap that and I'm going to go for the black. So I'm going to go for that. But I also like the brown leather too. So those may be my two that I go with. And if I'm able to do it on Sunday, or if my girlfriend is willing to wait in the line and get a ticket for me to do two, then I may have her do the two color ones. So then that way I can get the ones that I want for now.
Yeah. There's something about that green leather color that it's just really fun. I'm thinking go with the red build with the red leather and the green build with the green leather and do it that way myself. So yeah.
Yeah, I think because the cloth parts aren't in the ones that they're going to release post-con next year, the cloth parts to me now become more interesting. I was interested in them anyway, but I definitely think I'm going to try and get cloth parts with the different things. So as we were talking about, this is the photos that Bill put up on Dorclair. So you see the red there. It looks more towards the Vorgus red in this lighting than what it did in the studio photos. So
I was just talking absolute rubbish. I didn't mean the red leather. I meant the red cloth parts. It's the green leather one I'm thinking of getting along with this build. And
so that's that one. There's the green. The green looks like it looks, and it's awesome. I definitely have to. If I'm going to get one all metallic build, it's the green one, I think. Yeah, I love it. Or jade or whatever. And then this is purple. Is this the purple one?
Yeah, I believe that's the purple. Ones.
Yeah, so this looks more like a tinted silver purple as opposed to fully purple. You know, like the purple gang might be thinking, you know, we wanted it a bit more purple than that. Yeah. So, and any figures from the Horseman table you'd be chasing down, or are you pretty up to date like the rest of us?
Yeah, I'm pretty up to date. I think really the only ones that I'd really be going for from the table, unless there's surprises like what we talked about, is the show exclusive figures.
Gotcha. Yeah, they're a must get for sure.
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll just be unpainted 3D parts, painted parts.
What about
customs.
Some more skeleton Legion Builder?
Those two.
Or those? Yeah, you'll definitely. Yeah. What I'd if I was to say okay. Now, as we have a vendor table, so we can go to the Horsemen on the Saturday evening after the show. That's our time to go and get stuff. If they did have a bunch of the figures that we can only get direct from the Horsemen, so like either Figure Obscuras or the Legion Builders or the the Skeleton Legion Builder, etc. Those would be the ones I'd go more towards than the ones, say, my local retailer here in Europe has, that I could always scoop up a €45, $50, whatever it might be, Cosmic Red Jet or whatever. So they're the ones I'd definitely go to. Right, I have space in my suitcase for 5 or 6 figures to bring home, on top of the show exclusives, which, as you say, must get. I'd be looking for the ones I could get direct. And for example, if they have Frankenstein there, I'll definitely pick one up, completely rip it out of the box, get the coat, and pull apart all the other bits, and then go to the pop and swap event with the bits I don't need on top of my box of fodder. So that's the other thing. If you are looking for figures for parts and you say, well, I can definitely get a skeleton, whatever. If you don't need all the other bits, just put them in your tray. So I can see people doing that, where they get figures at the show, or even the show exclusive figures. Imagine that Atlas head. I can imagine that showing up at the pop and swap event. A few people going,
that would be awesome.
I have this little Atlas head that I don't want, but I know a lot of people want it, and I like all these other dwarf parts over here or something, that are hard to get. Dwarf upper legs, for example, or just dwarf legs in general. Yeah, they're they're valuable, and forearms. Yeah.
I've actually been stocking up.
Oh, there you go. Little honey trap there for the Toy Forge and the Kings Under the Mountain. I love it. And then one more thing to get us out of here tonight. Then, what figures are you? I mean, you're a skeleton guy, so this is a pretty easy question for you. What figures are you looking forward to mostly coming in the next year or two? The ones we have on pre-order. What's your kind of top few figures there? What you got to shout out?
Necronominus, of course. Maxilius, just to have that other skeleton body.
Yeah, with the different torso.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Terpiculi, just because of all the different things that you can do with that thing. And I think outside of those, the Kaipacha. I really dig Kaipacha.
He's cool. Yeah. That Ashes of Agbender wave it's going to blow up again once it gets in hand. I think. I think it came at a very busy time this year with they had the surprise boxes and they had all this stuff, and I think people had different expectations of that wave than what turned out. But in hindsight, it's a really great wave, and we're going to love it as we get it in hand. So. Kaipacha is a great shout. Yeah. And what about Skeleton Horse Conibus? He's
it's like, I like it. Like, I have nothing against it. It's just the only thing that I have against really any of it is space. So like when it comes to like the bigger stuff. So it's like that'll probably be the only horse that I have actually out on display when it does come out.
Gotcha.
Because like right now I don't have any of them out. I don't have any of the trolls out. My space is very limited. So I've been thinking I need to do it. I need to just rotate stuff out is what I need to do, just to kind of refresh it.
That's
that sort of thing.
That takes, that curation thing, that takes a bit of effort, and that's all well and good until it's not working, and then it can get a bit frustrating. So I definitely feel you there. The horses, they're the best action figure horses you can get, but as you say, tricky with space sometimes. You have to. I could put 4 figures on this space in the shelf, or 1 horse with a guy on top of it. So you have to kind of make that call sometimes. Same with the trolls. Right, Chris. Well, that was a great chat. Looking forward to the Pop and Swap event. Looking forward to mostly seeing you and your better half, of course.
Thank you.
And can't wait as we talk now, I'd say 2.5 weeks, we call it fair. And probably another week when this is released. So exciting times.
Yeah. We're getting there. We're almost there.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, John. Cheers, Mel.
Thank you. Cheers, Chris. Stay safe out there.